Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados live right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. A big week happened. We got a big Superman movie. We got X-Men announcements, all kinds of fun stuff. And we have the crown jewel of comic book critical YouTube, Perch is with us. What up, dude?
I hate those kinds of introductions, but it's good to see you guys. And you know, like you have your audience right now. You've got like a third of them. They're like, "Oh, it's nice to see him," and a third are like, "Oh, damn it, this guy." And a third are like, "Who?" That's
everybody knows who Perch is.
Everyone loves Perch.
Well, I love it, Perch. That like
Dallas, all the comic book creators, including Scott Snyder, were like stopping what they were doing to talk to you. That's how important you are.
That's an exaggeration.
He kicked people out of his line. He's like, "I'm not signing your autograph. I need to talk to this very important man right here."
Yeah, that's well, not quite, but anyway, it was good to see. I like the double take because I passed Ron V in the hall. I told you this, and he clearly didn't recognize me, but I've seen him before and I've talked to him before. And I'm like, "Hey," and so he said, "Hey," but then he did the double back, like I'm supposed to pretend I know who this is. But hello, but he's a very friendly guy, so he was never gonna go. I've completely forgotten who you are, which was reasonable. But
did it take him 4 years to have the full conversation with you?
No,
But, okay. I figured I'd ask. I mean,
yeah, no.
I wanted to know if his conversational stylings are that different from his.
He's a fast talker, But by the way, Philip Kennedy Johnson, I know it's been a while, but that guy continues to be the classiest guy. I've just spent time with my kids. I know he spent time with your kids. Just really great guy. Always really great guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, he autographed some comic books for him. My oldest one was not feeling very well, but he was super duper kind to him. I was very grateful.
Yeah, he's great. It's a fun time, but it's nice to be back with all of you. I was telling you before we went on the air. I haven't done a video. I've done a couple. I did the Mark Miller interview and like 2 others, but really I've done no videos since I saw you guys. And it's just been nice. It's been a nice little break.
Yeah, but you have like 6 months of videos.
That's right. You're watching old content, everybody. You're watching reruns. Well, not reruns, just
first runs, just produced a long time ago.
Yeah.
Old stuff.
My favorite one was
stories.
Yeah, my favorite was when you were like, "What's the deal with this Y2K?"
Yeah.
I was like, "This might have been pre-recorded."
Well, look, one just came out a week or 2 ago, I think, and I'm like, no matter how the election goes, we just have to just relax.
Well. Did you get to see the Superman movie?
I did. Yeah, I think a review is going up today or tomorrow.
Very nice. So yeah. Aaron, Perch, and Dylan have all seen the Superman movie.
Yeah.
And then Tommy is going tonight.
Yep.
And then the doc will go whenever there's not people in the theater, right?
Yeah, basically. Girlfriend and I cannot go to movies in the theater.
Because you guys talk too much.
We don't shut the fuck up. Because well, see, here's the thing. We know this, so we just don't go. Like, we recognize this like before we even attempted to go see a movie together. And so the only movie we've seen, like, on a screen other than in the house was the Mario Brothers movie, and we saw that at a drive-in so that we didn't annoy the people around us. So we're very considerate and self-aware.
You're having to explain to your girlfriend the fucking plot of Mario Brothers?
No, it had nothing to do with explaining the plot. It had everything to do with the fact that we can't shut up and we just end up going on tangents. It takes us like 8 hours to watch one episode of like a TV show.
Man, I know it's not true, but I would really hope that Mario Brothers you're talking about was the one from the
80s. Unfortunately, no, it was the animated. Yeah. I liked it though. So
Sparrow's trying to tell me that 80s Mario Brothers movie live action is better than the Mortal Kombat remake we got a couple years ago.
I never tried to tell you that. I just simply said that they're on par. They both care about the source material about as much.
There's no way. That fucking Mortal Kombat movie, while not great, was a hoot to watch.
No, it was entertaining, except for any time that Cole was on screen.
Yeah, Cole's terrible.
It's just the worst, man. Do you like it when his power was he grew an armored sweater? Literal plot armor.
Yeah. But we've also got Dylan, the world's biggest, well, I guess Gen Z Superman fan. Dylan, is that you?
I guess so. Yeah.
You're Gen Z, right? You're a Zoomer.
Yes. Yeah. I barely make it in, but yeah, I'm Gen Z.
Very nice. So I watched your review of Superman. It's live right now on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
Very interesting stuff.
Yeah. I liked it. It was pretty good, but I didn't love it. It wasn't the greatest superhero movie ever. Well, it didn't blow. It
wasn't Man of Steel.
It's much different from Man of Steel. Yes. I did. That's funny though. Like the comments, most people enjoyed the movie, but there are some Snyder bots. Most of like the negative stuff I got in my comments from Snyder bots, which was very funny. And like people trying to rage bait, like someone being like, "This movie's terrible. It's even worse than The Flash." Was how this person's just trying to rage bait my comments.
Yeah, it's in no way is it worse than The Flash.
It's not possible.
No.
Yeah.
Although I've been trying to figure out exactly where The Flash lives on the worst comic book movies of all time list. I do, however, know that it is absolutely not as good as Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, mostly because at no point does the Flash piss lightning at people.
So Dylan, what was the crowd like? Was it completely full?
Yes, it was packed, and everyone was wearing Superman shirts, and everyone was like cheering when the movie started, and everyone was just hyped. Yeah, my theater was packed. Everyone was there for Superman, excited for it, and having a good time.
So when I was flying back to the U.S., I was wearing one of my Superman shirts, which I'm doing right now, and I had like two of the guys that worked in TSA stop me, like, "Are you going to see the Superman movie?" Planning on it. And they were like super excited about it, which you don't normally get with a lot of movies these days, where people are just stopping you to talk about it.
Yeah, and it's cool seeing Superman stuff everywhere. Like I went to the mall the other day, and like just like a bunch of different stores just had Superman stuff like front and center. It's like, oh, this is so cool. You never see this, so it's nice to live in this little part of time where we're having Superman front and center.
It is a good thing. It is, and we'll get to what I thought of the movie later, but I think it, with the way that Minecraft, which was a horrible film, but the way that scene went viral with the chicken jockey and everything, and it was on, it's actually encouraging people to go into the theater and do that kind of audience interaction, cheering like you got. My theater was the same. People were cheering. They had the shirts. There's kind of this new, we'll see it for a little while. People want to go in, they want to engage more with the movie, and that's cool. I'm glad. Whether you like the movie or don't like the movie, that's nice to see.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of communal experiences anymore as a society because our media is so fractured. So when there is an event like movies like this are kind of being treated more as an event. I think you're right, Perch. Since Minecraft, I kind of had the same experience with I saw it twice. So the first time I went in a matinee and it wasn't packed. Second time Jesse wanted to go, so I went with him and his girlfriend Julie, and then the theater was packed and people were pretty excited.
So Perch, they were even wearing all the Superman gear and freaking out in like the posh theaters where you go.
Come on, man. No.
The bougie theater.
We know you don't go to the fucking AMC, dude. You go the one where they deliver your food. You get like you're drinking an actual cup.
As Texas, like all the theaters are that way now. Everybody needs to eat while they're doing everything. So there's food, drinks, and like they're all that way. I think the AMC theaters are that way here.
You get brisket here.
Yeah, you got brisket.
Perch is fucking eating lobster tail while he's watching Superman with his bougie friends.
No, but it was a couple of people had capes, which was weird, but there were shirts and there were a lot of noise, and I like that. My daughter went to see the new Jurassic Park, and she said there was people hyped up in that one too. So that's a good thing to see that kind of spirit of audience interaction, because all this means is that very soon Doc will be able to go to the movies and talk as much as he wants.
Hey, there was discussion, I guess, last year, I think, maybe earlier this year, about like the theaters trying to figure out ways to let people, to get people back into the theater. And then one of the discussions was about like not banning cell phones or allowing people to smoke weed. I'm like, if I can smoke a cigarette during the movie, I will start going back to the movie theater.
Let me tell you, that hasn't stopped anyone at my theater.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, there's a ban?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not legal in Texas, but it's still in the theaters.
Yeah.
So, Perch, did you bring the girls? Did they get to watch Superman?
One of them, yeah.
What was the reaction? Was Superman for them too?
For her, the younger one was the one who saw it. She liked the dog. The dog was what she enjoyed. She was upset when the dog wasn't on screen. That was the movie. And the comment at the end was, why didn't they just make the crypto movie? That would have been better.
You should show her Legion of Super Pets.
Yeah, she liked the dog. She liked Hawk Girl. She liked Mr. Terrific. She liked very little else.
Oh,
I want a crypto movie.
Yeah,
I'm surprised about Hawk Girl because Hawk Girl is kind of a nothing character in this movie.
Yeah,
not much to do.
If you're a young girl, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, she looks cool. She flies and she drops people.
True.
Spoilers.
very nice. We've also got Tommy from World at War Comics. What's going on, Tommy? I see you got the Superman hat. You've already got the tickets. Are you taking the whole family?
Yeah, I have 4 kids. They're all adults, so they're all 20 and above. 2 of the 4 are married. Usually on these type of movies, I have my oldest daughter who's 28. Her and I go to every comic movie, Marvel, DC, it doesn't matter what it is. She doesn't read comic books, but she likes the movies. This is one that everyone's going to. They're very excited for this one for some reason. So I don't know if it's just on Instagram, TikTok, everyone talking about it. They just want to be part of it. But I'm pretty excited that they all want to go. I have 1 boy and 3 girls. My son is gone, so the 3 girls and I are going to go, and a couple of spouses. So I'm pretty excited. And I don't get to go with my family that often because no one likes what I like in my family. Only one that likes comic books. Everyone thinks I'm weird that I spend so much money on stuff comic related, but I'm excited. I hope it's good. I don't know.
Dude, we had the same reaction. Like I put the trailer on, I've got my wife, my 3 boys, and they're all ages 10 to 4. I put on the trailer. They just all stopped doing what they were doing and just watched it. At the end, wife's like, we definitely got to go see that. I want to see that Superman movie. So
there's
like
been a
there's
lot
some
of
real
talk
hype.
They've like overhyped it, especially the crew with all the corny videos that they've done. That's all over Instagram and stuff. It's worked because they have people that normally don't engage at all, I think, engaging. And that would be especially my 2 youngest daughters. They really don't care. And they want to go see it. So something they did work.
It's an event.
They're engaged. So
They're just going to be very, very upset that the Hulk is in it.
okay.
Where's Captain America?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody loves the Hulk.
Which is funny because that's what people were asking during the last Captain America movie.
Shots fired, Aaron.
So, Tommy, on your channel, World at War Comics, and there's a link in the video description. You haven't got to check it out. You do lots of interviews. Is there any badass interviews people need to know about that you did this week?
Nothing this week. So I started a new job, so I've been really slow on the interview. I do have some in the pipeline. Philip Kennedy Johnson's coming back. He'll be like the 4th time that he's been on. I'm a big fan of his. I agree with you, Perch. And then Wes, your story about how he was so engaged with the boys, and he's just a really genuinely nice guy. And I can't wait to have him on to talk Batman, Robin, and all the other stuff that he's about to do with Superman. So that'll be probably one of my favorite ones that are coming up. I had Christopher Priest on, which is always unique. He just, whether you like his writing or not, he is going to tell you what he thinks. He doesn't care what anybody else thinks. And I do love that about him. But yeah, I think the last few, I obviously had Mark Miller on, John Romita. I know you have as well. Perch, you just had him on. That was awesome. I love Mark Miller. I've had him on about 3 times now, and he's just I don't know, wealth of knowledge, a lot of fun. So those are probably the big names that I've had on recently. I try to mix it with a lot of folks that are, self-publishers, a lot of Kickstarter stuff. So I try to blend it together just to help out those that are, trying to launch their own stuff. I've had Dolan on a couple times, or Drew, or whatever we want to call him this week. It's been awesome, man. I'm really happy for him that everything kind of worked out. We were hoping we get to that $8,000 mark. We got pretty close, just so we can unlock that next reward. But I'm really happy for him. That is an amazing title. So if you haven't picked up Unholy Nightmare, you need to get it because the art is insane and the story is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Dylan, I know you're just as excited as I am for that Philip Kennedy Johnson Superman House of L book.
I can't wait, dude.
Yeah.
I'm also excited because at the end of the month, we get that giant omnibus that Philip Kennedy Johnson said he filled with a bunch of nerd stuff, all the extras and everything. He's like, DC, let me go ham. And I'm like, I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
Like the War World Saga?
Yes. It's like all the extra stuff, like all extra lore bits he put in that omnibus. It's like I need to get my hands on that.
I know. I wish I would have waited to pick that one up. I have a World War Saga, but it, this next one with all the extras, I'm like, man, I should just waited because I have the other one.
Yeah. Dylan, did you get to read the Superman Treasury edition from Dan Jurgens?
Yes, it's the best comic of the year. It's amazing. I love this book. This was the best thing about Superman this week, not the movie.
It's that good. So it's Bruno Redondo on art, right?
Yes, and then Dan Jurgens does a flashback bit in it, and it's really good because if you'll notice sometimes with Dan Jurgens stuff, you can tell when he rushes and it doesn't look too good, but his pencils in this look really good.
So it's the best book of the year.
Yes, it's my favorite comic of the year. It was amazing.
It's magazine size, so it's extra.
It's freaking huge. It's bigger than my head. This thing's gigantic.
So it's definitely worth the $15 or whatever it is?
Yes. This is the Summer of Superman comic. This is the one they should have been promoting the entire time. When they did that whole thing with Williamson, Wade, and Slott, they should just put that to the wayside, and they should have been promoting this. This book is amazing.
It's better than Slott.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It's a great book.
Yeah.
Yeah, better than Slott. Yeah.
Fuck, I missed out. I didn't get to read it this week.
You didn't read it?
No, it was too big. I would have had to cancel out 3 other books. It's like 4 books a month.
It's worth it. There's 3 dog shit books you probably read that you didn't need to. You could have read this.
Gotham City Sirens.
I owed it to the fans.
I read X-Men. Okay,
it's a really good book. It's a book that they could take and put other places. I mean, because of its size and everything else, they could like why they don't kind of compress and put this down, put it into a Target or something like that. They definitely need to. It's a good book. Like this is a book that can live on. It's not going to date itself.
Is it as good as the Man and Superman 100-page giant?
Yes, it's as good as that.
Well, it might be the best comic book of the year then.
That would be a contender.
It's really good, legitimately. I don't know why this wasn't the one that they were hyping up the whole time for the Summer of Superman, because every other Summer of Superman book, I'm like, why is that what we're getting? Nothing really got me excited. And then I read this, and this is the one. This is the one that should have been front and center the whole time.
But that's the one they needed to be selling at the theater because this other stuff and different styles. People may like those books. It's fine, but they all require at least a little bit more investment in being a comic fan and reading other stuff. This one, if you have not read comics and you've gone into this theater, this will get you excited to read more comics. So they definitely need to ride this one. It's a good one.
Yeah, and also you really see speaking of Slott, you really see the difference in talent between Jurgens and Slott, because in that first issue of Slott's Superman comic, he just inexplicably goes through Superman's origin, like his early years and everything, for no reason. It's handled terribly. They do something similar in this, but it's handled so well, and Jurgens does a much better job. So you can really see the talent difference there.
So you mean to tell me the guy that's been a professional for almost 45, close to 50 years is better than a fat slob that can't get his books out?
Yes.
I don't know.
Surprising,
it feels like
I know.
You're going through your computer mic instead of your actual mic.
Me?
Yeah, doesn't it?
You sound a little off, Doc.
Okay, I'll look into it.
You can amp up the volume on him now.
I could turn up the volume, but I think I would just get static. So, Perch, I made the mistake. I read Fantastic Four First Steps this week instead of Superman Treasury.
Not as good a book. No.
I think I failed.
Yeah, I would have read this one. It's a good book. I don't know. The signs of optimism, right? I think them putting this book out, structuring it well. So you have to kind of take a step back and like, well, who was responsible for this? You got the writer, but some editor
promoted.
Somebody picked like let's put these stories in. Let's do this. I agree with you on the promotion, but somebody was smart enough to know to craft this book in this moment for this movie. They got to get it more places, but this is a good book. So
it should be in Target. It should be in Walmart right now.
Yeah.
Like there's Superman Mania.
Yeah, get it out there
in all those places that are currently having the.
You sound better.
Racks. Yeah, I know. I fixed it.
Honestly,
I was going through my mic.
Sell it in the theater. I mean, you can't have a spinner rack with a ton of comics in the theater. It's not feasible with how people go in and out. But as people are coming out of that theater, and at least in the theater I went to, as people were exiting, they had a handful of things out there, shirts and hats there that they were selling for Superman as people were exiting. It was smart. Should have that comic book in there.
Oh yeah, $15 for a comic book will feel fucking cheap after you've been to the theater. Spend $120 on popcorn.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where the price actually isn't going to be a shock as much as it is in other places. So anyway, good stuff. I mean, it was good. So credit where credit's due. It's a good book.
Absolutely. So Aaron, you also got to see Superman.
Yes, indeed.
Were you?
Do you want me to expand on that, or
like, well, we don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, you're one of our correspondents here.
Yeah, no, I did. I enjoyed it. It's not a perfect movie. It's not the like Dylan said, it's not the best superhero movie I've ever seen. But I went and I had a really good time, and I walked out of the theater feeling hopeful and optimistic, both about the DC universe, movie slate. Although the next one is Supergirl, so I'm still expecting that to suck. But I just kind of like felt like, okay, like I understand what they're going for with this universe. It is a more comic book universe. It was nice to come out of a Superman movie not anxious and depressed and just exhausted. And it was really good to see Superman cry out in anguish when someone is executed, as opposed to crying out in anguish after he's executed someone. So it was a nice change of pace.
Man, I could see you like ripping your shirt off. Next thing you know, you're on your buddy's shoulders. You got a fucking chicken. Getting the crowd going up for Superman.
I'm in the wrong movie.
You put a cape on the chicken with a big S on it. So people
there was a guy in the second showing that I went to. There was a guy. Like,
so you seen it twice.
Out, there was yeah. I said that. I said the top of the show. Wes, do you listen to me at all?
I do not.
No, I went with my friend to a matinee, and my normie friend Marie, who I always run these things by, she loved it. She thought it was great. She came out going like, man, she was really hyped for Superman. She was like, I thought everybody did a really good job, and she barely remembers the Zack Snyder stuff, but she was like, I just remember that last one, like his costume being like everything looking muted and like ugly and just I felt ugly when we left the theater, and she's like, I really liked this, so there you go. I think normies are going to love it. I think it's going to crush it at the box office.
Very nice.
Hope so.
So let's get some Patreon shout outs. I want to say thank you very much to Dr. Cloud, Protector of Skyhaven, for backing us on the Patreon, supporting the channel. Really appreciate that. We've also got returning Timothy Wojcik, aka Thunderline, the Protector of Shockstone. Really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Also, Vash87, aka Necrotic, Protector of the Darkshire. Thank you so much for upgrading your Patreon backing. And then also Carlitos Figueroa, aka Fuego Force, Blazeberg. Thank you so much for coming back. And if you're interested in supporting us on Think Critical Patreon, there is a link in the video description. We got some other people's here. We got some stuff happening. Jagrin 2. Okay, Perch. So you're using your comic guy big brain. Can you explain how Spider-Gwen rewriting her history and how we have original Gwen as Gwenpool now? Go.
The writers and the editors don't talk to each other, and nobody knows what they're doing.
Yep.
That.
Yep.
Also, cocaine.
No, they can't afford cocaine.
They can't afford cocaine. I mean, cocaine's not expensive, but they can't afford it.
They wish they could afford cocaine. No, I don't know. I like. Where could you go with this? I think Spider-Gwen, not the most important character in Marvel. On one hand, you could look at this and say, hey, in a world where the Avengers, Fantastic Four, the X-Men really needed to succeed, who cares? Like what are they doing with Spider-Gwen? It doesn't matter whether it's a great comic or bad comic. It's never going to sell more than 30,000 copies. It doesn't matter to anything. That said, you have these characters that come as flash of the pan type stuff. The Spider-Gwen variant cover that Chris did a long time ago that became this. There's this world where you could have had another Miles Morales on your hands. Maybe not a huge hit, but something. And so them screwing around with this stuff, it's just like the character doesn't matter and you're doing nothing to make the character matter. So this rewriting of the history that went on in the comic, like who's even going to understand that? The 20 people who've been reading along all this time, nobody is, and very few are going to care. And anyway, just dumb. By the way, I messed up. Chris Bachalo did the Gwenpool cover, the Spider-Gwen cover. But anyway, whatever,
Yeah, well, that's how little care you have.
Exactly.
It's like it does not matter.
Points. Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's like Mickey Mouse just being a sweater. You know, it's like he's not a character anymore. This was never designed to be a character. It was just something like, oh, this kind of took off. And you're right. If they would have put care into it, if they would have put somebody on it who was like, okay, let's actually make this work. But they don't do that at Marvel anymore.
No, it might be something, but it's hard. My perspective, I mean, having been away from doing videos for a while and just thinking a lot, and I was doing some of this right before, it's hard. I guess my mentality has shifted a little bit, because when nobody cares that the Avengers is out and the X-Men, and we'll get to it, I know later, is having to do this gimmicky stunt, and the comics are just kind of flatlined in terms of attention. Those are the things that are just screwed up. Like in DC, you know, Matt Fraction's plans for Batman do not look very good. That's the 5-alarm fire. The fact that you've got Fire and Ice #5, I mean, again, we can mock it, you can joke about it, but who cares? It doesn't matter. Like, what matters is the big tentpole characters are going nowhere. That's the problem.
I think the one big problem is these creators, now that they've introduced this, you know, okay, you got an idiot over in one book turning the original Gwen into the new Gwenpool, and that somehow she's alive. And then another idiot in the other book, do the Spider-Gwen book, making Gwen Stacy, the original Gwen Stacy that is currently supposed to be Gwenpool, merge with the alternate universe Gwenpool.
Yeah.
And bring Captain Stacy back, that he never died. And now you have this utter and complete continuity fuck. Like, and it's like a major one too. And some idiot, I mean, yes, it's in a book that nobody cares about and is utterly irrelevant to the line. But one of these retards, because they're all buddy-buddy with each other, will decide, oh, I'm going to use this thing that my friend did over in this book that didn't matter in a book that does.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, by the way, to your point is taken, and it could be that this will continue. But I mean, to the original guy's question, no, I can't explain this. It's just bad coordination, and it's a shame. I just, you know, the big things do not matter, or are failing. So the little things, I mean, this is why I know comic creators get irritated. It's, you know, why do people complain about the little stuff that doesn't matter? Because what else is there? You know, I mean, like, again, the Avengers had multiple films. You've got a big one coming out. Most people generally think Jed McKay is a pretty good guy. Do you feel like that comic is a can't miss comic right now? The Mad Thinker goes on a little kind of rampage with the new Masters of Evil, or were all of you glued to your seats watching that? Was it selling 150,000 copies? That's the problem.
Caleb says, thank you for blaming Kelly Sue DeConnick and Tom Taylor recently. I tweeted thank you for blaming Kelly Sue DeConnick and Tom Taylor recently. Tweeted her on Blue Sky. I think it's called a Bluey. We need more Superman. I roll. And that the Red Sonja trailer was terrible. I don't know. I don't go on the Blue Sky. I don't know about Blueys.
It was Tom Taylor deciding to use Superman to make his weird immigration. Yeah, it's just another example of that. Can somebody please just take his fucking visa and send his ass back to Australia? Also, then cut off Australia's internet.
They call them Blueys. You're giving.
No, I mean I thought we settled that the messages on Blue Sky were called. No, it's called Blue Ski, and I thought that we settled on the fact that the messages that they send out are queefs.
Oh yeah.
Yikes!
I've never used it before, but I didn't see the Red Sonja trailer. But it sounds like it's going straight to streaming the same day that's on theaters. So I imagine they know it's bad.
It's like Solomon Kane. It's like they weren't able to get distribution for it through any, like, they weren't able to get any solid distribution, so it's going through a bunch of smaller distributors. And so if you guys remember the Solomon Kane film, which why would you? Nobody does, because of how badly it was marketed. They just kind of like put it out at different times in different areas, and it all kind of just came and went with no,
so like limited release type.
Yeah, it's like limited release. You know, unfortunately, it's a movie that like they worked on for too long, and they didn't get out before everybody like looks at every female-led action film now and goes, "It's woke." You know, so unfortunately, whether it's good or not is immaterial. It's not going to do anything.
Galb says women are begging men to come back. You damn right. My wife just today was like, "You better come back here." I'm like, nah, lady, you better work for it.
To come back to what?
I have no idea.
Society.
Maybe we left. You guys left society. I did. I just put up with it, right, Perch?
Yeah, exactly.
Bad. Tommy, is your wife begging you to come back?
No, I mean, we've been married 29 years. Sometimes I think she's
probably begging you to stay away.
Yeah, no. Whenever I travel, it's really good for our relationship, it seems. So
familiarity breeds contempt.
He says, I watched Friday Night Tights and said it's good, but it's not Superman, and James Gunn needs to can it with his redneck humor, one trick pony, and dumb jokes.
I don't understand the whole redneck humor thing. There was the only place that I could really think that they would have that would be with the Kents, and there was no humor with the Kents at all, really.
Yeah, that was one of the better moments of the film when actually the dumb jokes ruining emotional moments stopped for a while. That was actually.
I've heard that from many different people, Perch, that almost every moment with gravitas is undercut with a stupid MCU-like joke.
No, I mean, I agree. I mean, I was talking to a friend who was saying that, you know, that was why he disliked Thunderbolts. And these are not even on the same plane of existence in terms of dumbass humor out of nowhere. I mean, Thunderbolts had little quippy jokes. This is that times 50.
So you didn't like Superman?
No, I mean, I would give it a 4 out of 10 is what I said.
That means you don't like it.
Didn't like it. Didn't love it. You know, I think, but it's hard because, you know, I was talking to another person. I said, yeah, I didn't really like this, but it had nothing to do with Snyderverse, nothing to do with like, I really want Henry Cavill back, nothing with any of that. My issues with it were, you know, pretty decent actors. Thought the dialogue was pretty terrible on a regular basis. I feel like the movie went from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene. There was very little, you know, it was like watching a video game for me more than a film. And there was just some dumb stuff in there that bugged me. But, you know, but at the same time, you know, it's like you ever, this is gonna be a weird analogy. It's not gonna land with this group, but let's try. You ever be in a room and you're watching something and there's like 5 of you there and you're like, I didn't like it. And everybody kind of agrees they didn't like it. And then you got one guy in the room's like, yeah, I didn't like it because it's got women in there and they were talking. Fuck women. You're like,
yeah, that's Sully, yeah.
Yeah, that's like, there you go. But it's like, no, I disliked it, but I'm not with that guy. That guy is
I like it for my own personal reasons. I thought the pacing was off.
Yeah.
No, Perch is doing the thing where it's like the Daniel Tosh, where he's like, he goes, you know, he says, you know, now I can tell that joke here. If I'm down south, you know, he goes, I start hearing a few yeehaws in the audience, I shut it down.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But that's a problem right now with Superman is I'm looking at the reviews, and somebody mentioned in the chat, the reviews, the people's opinions are all over the place. So I'd encourage you, go watch it, get it for yourself, because who knows where you're going to land on this thing. But I hate the fact that you see some people desperately trying to make it tribal. And it's like, well, you don't like it because it's woke. The movie's not woke. It's just, there's not a woke bit in this film. I mean, you really have to stretch. You have to get to the place like, well, Lois wore pants. It's like, okay, that's,
I do it.
Did you see that? That was actually going on Twitter. There was someone that was actually like, you know, yeah, they were like, you know, oh, here's Rachel Brosnahan in real life. And it's like a picture of her at like some event where she's wearing like a gown and her boobs are out. And it's like, James Gunn chose to dress her like this in the movie. And I was like, please explain to me the place in the movie where reporter Lois Lane should have had her tits out. Please tell me what part of the movie that was.
Please tell me where a reporter should be wearing an evening gown.
Yeah, like
yeah, there was no gala to go to. Like she was working all the time. She was always in work attire.
But it's too complicated to keep track of this stuff. I mean, what did we want? She should have been wearing just a string bikini the entire time. Ideally, wet and white. But then this movie would have been for gooners. So I mean, like, what do you want at this point? It just, you know, but the movie, it lacked some heaviness to it. I think the third act was silly. I mean, it just, there was, I didn't enjoy it. But lots of people did. So, you know, more power to you. Whatever, if you're going to go into it.
Was Mission Impossible better?
I like Mission Impossible better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like Mission Impossible better. Yeah. Okay. And I like this. I've seen like 30 something movies this year, and I have this at number 6. So to put it all in perspective.
Okay.
30 movies came out this year.
Galb says Lex Luthor is just a coded Elon Musk and Andrew Tate, and it's obvious that Kara will be a girl boss movie. Yes,
that's true. I mean, Kara, Kara's gonna suck, but I don't agree.
Well, that movie's gonna. I mean, they're gonna do beat for beat the Tom King story, so it's like if you like that,
which is beat for beat,
like this movie.
True Grit, which is a great movie, twice. It'll be the third one.
Luthor isn't Musk or Tate at all in this movie. I don't know how he got any bit of that.
No, I don't. I agree. I mean, he was that was kind of actually part of the problem. Is I think that actor is a pretty good actor, but he at times is just kind of devolved into just screaming and bouncing around. Like he's smart. Is he just an out of control frat boy? I don't know what they were. That was
Dylan said it's the most comic book accurate Lex Luthor we've ever seen in a film.
It is by far.
Yeah. I agree.
I love this.
I mean, compared to the other ones, I mean, you know, at least he wasn't going, gods and monsters are, you know.
Well, no, I mean, that was a terrible one. I mean,
yeah, this I don't get. I've seen multiple people say that, complain about him like yelling or whatever, but that's not how he is in the movie. He unravels. He's not like that till the end. He wasn't like from the get go. He's not like crying and like screaming or anything. He's not like that till the end. After a lot of events happen, and you see how it gets there. So I thought it all made sense. I thought it was more than like that was my complaint with animated Lex, because I love Clancy Brown, but they're constantly having him get mad and yell. Like we almost never got the cool, calm, collected Lex in the animated, and everyone loved that Lex. But this one, you got to see him unravel, and when he did finally unravel, it made sense. So I love this Lex. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I loved him too.
Yeah, I like the evolution of Lex in Smallville, but whatever.
He was the highest paid actor in this too, right?
Yeah,
yes.
More than double anybody else, I think.
In base, I think the incentives will bump some of the others up if the movie makes money.
Good point.
Galichioki says, so nervous about this film. I see it tomorrow. People have said you'll like it or hate it. There is no in between. Aaron and Dylan, do you think I'll like it?
Well, it sounds like me and Aaron are kind of the in between where we're like, it's good, not great. So, you know, there is kind of an in between. You don't have to love it or hate it. Like, I like it. I don't love it. But
you don't think it's the best Superman movie ever made?
Your turn to be the fence sitter now.
Yeah, it's definitely not the greatest superhero movie ever made, but it's good and there's stuff to like. And yeah, I liked it. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's better than like every MCU movie coming out now, but it's nothing that's gonna blow you away. Although some people, I have some people in my comments being like, it's a 9.5 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. So maybe that'll be you. I don't know, but
it's a strange movie. It's a strange movie in its construction. Like it's it tells a linear story. So my worry that like out of all this, all the scenes that we were seeing in the, the clips that they were giving, I was like, my biggest complaint about this movie is that I don't understand the marketing at all. I don't understand how all of this works together. It feels like they're showing me different episodes of a season as opposed to one movie. And it does kind of, feel that way. But at the same time, the story is completely linear. One thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. I do think that Perch is right. The third act is kind of overblown. There is like way too much going on. But I still thoroughly enjoyed what was happening. And there's a lot of little good character moments. There's a couple of moments that I actually like kind of got choked up. So, they hit the when James Gunn can kind of like hit emotion, he does a really good job with it. There's a scene on the farm with Superman and his dad, Jonathan Kent. And I do not like the actors that they cast for the Kents, but the scene still worked. And then there's the moment, we've seen in the trailer, this isn't a spoiler, but where the kids are raising the flag and hoping Superman will come and save them. And for some reason that got me. So kids. It's kids, but it's also the hopefulness of, it reminds me of things in the comic book. Like, I kept going back to the Garth Ennis thing. People want to talk about like, oh, he said Superman's an immigrant, blah, blah, blah. If anything, this is a very Garth Ennis take on the whole immigrant story. If it, it's not really present in the film. They don't even really dwell on that. It's just like the slightest little aside, but it is very much a, people complaining about like the plot twist with Jor-El and Lara. It enforces the I'm American now. What can I do to help? Like Superman, I'm an Earthling. I'm a human being. It takes all the kind of like Krypton stuff away. And that's why I didn't hate it, because I'm going to be honest. I've never given a crap about Jor-El and Lara in the slightest. I think that the Krypton stuff is the least interesting thing about Superman to me. So it didn't really bother me. But go ahead, Perch.
I'm just really glad that Kirkman and Otley are finally going to get screen credit in the Superman film.
Did they get it at the end? Because I didn't pay too much attention to the creators at the end.
I'm assuming he's saying they're knocked off Invincible.
I did.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the way I took it.
I see. Because I was looking at the end of it and the creator names, but I was mostly bitching that like why are the creator names at the end? Like here thank you to these comic people.
Koichi says Superman for me is Christopher Reeve and Superman the Animated Series.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, well, sure. I know that was a good Superman. But everybody's going to have, I think, different takes on this. I think, and I think it's completely fine if somebody likes it, somebody dislikes it, somebody finds it in the middle.
People are talking about it. That's good.
Yeah, and as much as I hopefully it does not devolve into people loving it just because they want Marvel to fail somehow, or hating it just because of Gunn or whatever. Just go watch the movie. You like it or not.
You know what this movie is, Wes? This movie is the tree on Dagobah. It's like, what do you come out of this movie? What's in this movie? Only what you bring with you. If you're
what's in your soul.
Yeah, it's like that's what you'll attach to. So
Perch is a bitter man.
Perch has been
4 or 5. I didn't grade it a 1 of 5.
Too attached to Christopher Reeve.
Perch has been beaten down by his love of comics, and it's continually
Christopher
betrayed.
Reeve could have been the handy Captain America.
American Texan says Superman Treasury could have been an awesome 3-month crossover event, but in one book it was awesome. Makes me wish more events could be in this format.
Definitely. If you can get this level of talent on a book, yes. But if you're gonna like throw some not so great people on there and you're gonna make us pay $15 for it, no. But yeah, this was, if you can hit it like this every time, definitely, because Treasury was amazing.
It kind of almost lends itself, Perch, obviously to trades and compact comics, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it should. I mean, it would be smart to market that. They should do it.
Why aren't they releasing the Absolute Universe books in compact comic format?
They will.
Yeah, I think they will.
But they should on day one.
Well, I mean, you have to have the comics build up. I don't think they can do it on day one.
No. When they release the trade and the hardcover, they're not doing the compact comic.
Yeah, probably
day one. I meant like the release date of those. They should come out together.
Agreed.
Yeah. Dr. Touchdown. Hi, Wes and the Comics Aficionados, including Young Justice Season 4, Episode 21 writer Aaron Sparrow. Firstly, love the Superman movie. Tommy and Perch, what are you two's favorite comic book superhero and your favorite run of theirs? Tommy, you want to go first?
I mean, I love Green Lantern. Unfortunately, the movie was not. I don't think anybody agrees that was the best movie. I actually enjoy it. I've watched it and rewatched it several times, but there was a lot of flaws. But Green Lantern's my favorite. I'm hopeful that the TV show will be okay, but it doesn't seem like it's going to meet my needs as a Green Lantern fan. They're doing a lot of unique things with those characters, with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan, which I don't think I'm going to really enjoy, but I'm hopeful that it'll be good. So Green Lantern, as far as like my favorite movie, I mean, it's got to be all the.
You want to know your favorite comic run?
My favorite comic run of all time? Jeez.
Of Green Lantern.
Of Green Lantern. Oh, it's got to be anything Jeff Johns touched. I think he's probably one of the best comic book writers, for me, at least in the last 15, 20 years. I just think he's phenomenal. Blackest Night, anything during that time frame is amazing.
I do think the Green Lantern Rebirth, Sinestro Corps War, and like Blackest Night is an amazing trilogy.
It's so good. So I don't know if we'll ever get anything like that again, to be quite honest, especially with what we've seen.
All right, Perch, who's your favorite character? Are you going to tell us on Paste Pot Pete?
Yeah, for sure. No, Paste Pot Pete. It's I guess I would land with Wolverine as a favorite character, but I'm saying that for a very long run of comics, and when they get him right, when there's arcs of him, you just really get behind that character and you like that character. It has been a while, but for me, it's more the runs. So the Mark Gruenwald Captain America run was just a fantastic long run of comics, and the John Byrne Fantastic Four run was the amazing run of comics, and the Walter Simonson Thor run was a great run of comics. And when those runs were going on, those were by far my favorite characters. That was what I was going to first every single time, and really invested in those comics, and including, by the way, Invincible with Otley and Kirkman. When that run was at its stride, that was the first comic I picked up. That's the one I enjoyed. That's the one I thought about. So it's hard to have like a favorite hero, because a really great run makes a really great character. And somebody mentioned to the chat, it is criminal that John Byrne was excluded from the credits of Superman.
Was he? Oh my God, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's lame. What's your favorite Wolverine run then, there, Perch? Is it?
It's
Weapon X.
No. Well, probably when the I guess Larry Hama was doing it. That was a really good run, but it's not like there was one single standout issue. Yeah, but it just, the collection of all that, you had a really good sum of a character.
That run from when Silvestri was on it with Hama, so from like issue 25-ish through about 60, it was just ongoing, and it was a great, it felt like that Grunwald Captain America, because it's just this episode, like serialized Wolverine on an ongoing adventure.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, but Nascenti on Daredevil was amazing. And I mean, when you get a good writer and you give them time. And by the way, something to think about for you guys, somebody had sent a mail asking this. They're like, well, why don't we have big superstar artists anymore? And when they say superstar, like Silvestri or Jim Lee or Todd McFarlane were back in the day. Well, one of the reasons, I mean, it seems bizarre now, but McFarlane had a long run on Spider-Man. And Jim Lee had a long run on X-Men. And we have these things like, I don't know, can he finish 10 issues on Batman in a timely manner on a monthly schedule? I don't know. And, he's older now, and he doesn't have to be that. But the reason why we don't have those kinds of creators running around right now is, when was the last time an artist gave us a 4-year run consistently, like Byrne did regularly? Like that's what's it's going to take to make a superstar, other than Mark Bagley, who has that kind of ongoing track record of art. That's what's going to make superstars.
John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
Jagron 2 Perch, would you review Gotham City Sirens Volume 2?
But why?
As a request.
I mean, I can.
Hey, Doc and I reviewed Unfit for Orbit issue number 2 this week. It's just going to be exclusive on the Patreon, but it's the best issue of anything Leah Williams has ever written that I've read.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't mean it's good, but it's better than what she had been doing.
I guess that sounds like a good use of time.
There you go. And Jagrin, in about 18 months, you will finally get your Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit review when Perch, publishes it.
I'm on it.
Absolutely.
He'll record it next week. You'll get it in 2029.
Exactly.
There you go.
It'll be
Mike Latoris hated it. Humor sucked. Everything was annoying. So I'm assuming he's talking about the Superman movie.
Yeah, you're going to get those reactions. You get a little bit of everything.
Is it the humor that really threw you off, Perch?
No, it wasn't. It was a combination of a lot of things, but that was one thing, because there were some legitimately good moments in this movie that set up for nice things, and it did feel. I mean, it's the exact same feeling that you have for a Marvel movie when it undercuts it with a dumb joke, and and somebody said in the comments that, hey, this is way toned down Gunn from normal. That may be true, or maybe I'm just allergic to it at this point, and my tolerance is just so diminished for that kind of stuff.
I will say that Mike Latoris is very much a James Gunn type joke.
Yeah, well, there you go.
True.
Maybe. I mean, I've seen it twice now, and I don't recall any of the, I don't recall any joke that took me out of anything, which is unusual for these films.
That's what I was about to say. There's only one moment for me that really undercut anything, which was one of the best moments of the movie. So it made me very sad. Something that happens in the end, a great moment between Lex and Superman that gets undercut for a joke. And that made me very sad. But other than that, there wasn't really any moments that I remember where they undercut anything with a joke. This is definitely the least humorous Gunn movie. There's still a lot of jokes in it, but it's the least it is.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I know the moment you're referring to. I know exactly the moment you're referring to.
Yeah,
I felt the same, but the crowd reaction, it played to the crowd. It didn't play to us, but to the overall crowd, that got.
It's such a good moment, Tilden. It's so great. This is what I wanted to see on the screen for so long, and then that.
Yeah, it definitely undercut like what I wanted to see. But you know, the audience was happy.
Caleb says the women thing, they're begging for men to date them because they're sick of being alone, even though they drove us away.
That's like one article.
We need some reconciliation. I think it's great, men and women coming together. I don't know about you, Tommy, but the best thing that ever happened to me was my wife and certainly our children.
100%. And I would not want to start over in this day and age with that whole process. I'm glad I got married at 21 years old, which is not the smartest thing to do. Yeah, I'm 50. All my kids are adults. I got grandkids. I could actually play with them without being in too much pain. I would not want to do anything all over again. I am glad that I found my wife and my wife found me. And yeah, I look at my son who's 25, man, I don't know. Nah, it's just a weird time right now.
Perch, I know you're pretty anti-marriage.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. That's my brand.
But I want everybody to go find their one, Perch, and be happy.
For sure.
It's the best feeling in the world.
It really is.
Women don't need to beg. Just wear less.
Just go around naked.
Nature will take care of it.
Stop thinking that each one of your life, you need to be an Instagram hoe and you'll do fine.
Yeah.
Well, they could stop being terrible, and then men will want to date them again. The end.
Mr. DC Comics, still haven't seen Superman yet. Sold out. But the issue people have with the movie, are they solvable with James Gunn if it's in a sequel?
I mean, if people liked it, then they would say, "Why do you need to solve anything?" If you didn't like it, probably no. I mean, we'll see how this settles. Right now, there's just too much noise of people saying the reviews are amazing and no, the reviews are faked, and no, there's the Snyderverse should have been here. You got just too much noise in the air. I think it'll be interesting to check back in on where things are at in 2 weeks.
Hopefully, they do a sequel before they do Justice League this time.
That'd be nice.
I would hold off on Justice League as long as humanly possible and build up this universe.
Also,
you would want Batman as well and a Wonder Woman movie then. Perch?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
So you want a Batman and Wonder Woman movie origin as well before we got to Justice League? Along with Superman?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the very least, look, it was an interesting choice. Now, I think this was a good thing. Also, I see people complaining about it, where this movie does not handle the origin. It's in kind of the opening title, and then we just get into the action. And that was a good move. I do think that's smart. Spider-Man could learn from that a bit.
I don't need to see Krypton blow up again. I'm good.
Yeah. So I think I would like to see them do something similar. Now they still have the Matt Reeves Batman to deal with, and how you're gonna, make that all work. But I know it's Elseworlds, but whatever. How are you gonna have 2 Batman films in the theater at the same time? That's strange. But yeah, I'd like to see them do more of this. For what it's worth, and this is again something that people have lots of different opinions on. I felt like there was a couple too many characters in this one, because this film was almost a mini Justice League movie or a Justice Gang movie, if you will, but there's just a little bit too much. And so it worked to just skip the origin and get right into Superman. But you skipped a lot of people. I mean, you're kind of plopped right in the middle of things with a lot of characters. And I do think that played against this film a bit. But, so the reason why I think that could be a problem is if you're going to go for a sequel, the way the directors and writers and studios typically operate is they want to put more into it. So like, I can't contemplate what more in this film would look like. I mean, you're going to shove another 10 characters in here, you use different characters, or like, what are you going to do? I do think there's a problem to reckon with, but these are solvable problems. We'll just see if they're capable of solving them.
Callum says, I like the Man of Steel, so sue me. You can like Coke or Pepsi with the social media. Don't turn into a cult. That Luther thing, ignore it. But is true gamers control the clone?
I think I will sue you.
The best EU movie that fucking Zack Snyder made. I know you like Man of Steel a lot, Dylan, right?
Yeah, I like Man of Steel. Man of Steel is really good.
Do you think
I will
it's
sue all of
Superman?
I will sue every single one of you.
It's close. It's close because I really like Man of Steel a lot. I hated Batman v Superman. I thought Batman v Superman was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But Man of Steel, I enjoyed a lot.
Man of Steel was a great Hyperion movie.
Exactly.
They needed to do more with the Kevin Spacey appearance. So speaking of Lex, they needed to investigate more what he was doing with kids.
That was Superman Returns.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. That film was terrible. But by the way, it's this crazy thing. It is actually possible to like Man of Steel and the new Superman simultaneously at the same time.
Hold on,
just be different things. It is impossible, however, to like Coke and Pepsi at the same time.
I did just realize maybe that's why he was building an island.
Correct.
Oh, good call.
I agree. I don't think you can like Coke and Pepsi, because if you like Coke, Pepsi is not a suitable replacement, but I can like RC Cola.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not a suitable replacement.
RC Cola?
No, it's not another Coke. Never mind.
No, you're right. Perch is right.
Yeah.
Nobody gets an RC and goes, "This is just as good."
No. It's no Coke is available. Get that Pepsi away from me. Give me an RC. That's as good as it'll get without.
Right. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
No.
Dude, Perch, did you notice my flex when I was on vacation at you?
No. What was the flex?
I wore my Arby's shirt.
Yeah, no, I noticed that.
Good, wasn't it?
Humiliated too.
He was having a look at big Montanas the entire time I was there.
Wander around with that stuff. I don't know.
I just see Perch as like Sylvester Jr. He sees Wes in the Arby's shirt and is just like, "Oh, Wes," just puts the bag over his head. Can't be seen with you.
Yeah.
Sleep McNakel, I thought they handled Superman and Luthor really well. The climax had me smiling. Brain beats brawn.
Yeah.
That was a good moment when Lex was like actually losing it. Like I like that when he was like, so Superman's getting the shit beat out of him, and Lex is screaming into the mic, brain beats brawn. And I thought it was a good character moment for Lex. I thought they handled Lex really well, like his motivation and just kind of his petty jealousy and where he actually admits, yeah, you're damn right that I operate off of envy. I hate the fact that the conversation is about you. Like I thought that fit very well.
Yeah, he's got some great lines in this. Lex was my favorite part of the movie, and that referencing All-Star Superman at the end there was pretty cool.
Very nice. But you thought that was the best part of the movie, was the relationship, Dylan? I know you were raving about it.
Yes, Superman and Lex, I wish we got even more of them confronting each other, because anytime those two are together on screen, it's great, because they're the two best parts of the movie. Corn Sweat.
You say remove the Justice Gang and give us more Lex and...
Yes, that was... Because that was my probably biggest complaint about the movie, was that we got almost none of the core Superman characters because we had the Justice Gang in there. Because I liked Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific. Also, side note, I don't know if Perch and Aaron thought this, but Mr. Terrific, his cadence and his voice sounds just like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
It does.
Yes. He sounds just like him. I like Mr. But he sounded just... Every time I heard him talk, I was like, that's just... He sounds the exact same.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I
like Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific, but I would have much preferred them just not be in the movie, and we got more of the core Superman characters, because the Daily Planet isn't in it till like the very end. I would like to see more of them. Would just like to see more of the Kents. Instead, I like
Beck Bennett, but like, why was he in this film? Why did we give any screen time to him at all? The sports guy, And I feel like there was probably more Daily Planet, because we heard that like some of this got cut, like the studios had cut the runtime on this. So I feel like there probably was more Daily Planet, but that's what you chose to excise instead of like, some of the Justice Gang stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they did set up scenes that I strongly suspect stuff was cut there. And I think there was probably some elements that would have made Jimmy make more sense to people and everything that was going on with him. But the Jimmy Olsen stuff, I've heard people complain about that. But that was reminiscent of some of the 70s Superman comics and what they're doing with Jimmy, for sure. Yeah. But I think there were probably some scenes that got cut that may have landed that a little bit easier for people.
Yeah, Lois has a line where she says, like, what is it with you? I think the entire audience is asking, like, why is this happening? Like, what is it with you? And it reminded me of The Other Guys, where it's like every girl thinks Will Ferrell is hot. Like every hot girl is like throwing herself at him. And Mark Wahlberg's like, what's going on? That's like, kind of felt like they were setting that up, but it seems like that got cut.
But that was always Jimmy's kind of bit, is that he was stumbling his way into crazy situations, and sometimes you had people falling for him and other things. I mean, it fits. But it's interesting, this conversation. I didn't like what they did with Lex. You guys did, so there you go.
Calb says when Flash switched bodies with Lex was good.
Oh, on Justice League Unlimited, that was good stuff.
A long time ago.
I thought it was in this movie. I was like, fucking Ezra Miller shows up? What?
I was
cameo?
There is another character that shows up in a cameo though that I was surprised, but I like in the moment I was surprised, but then I was like, oh, of course.
Yeah, but why? Sorry, why? I mean, I don't know that one. I had no. A lot of people are surprised at that. If it's the person you're talking about on the TV, the interview bit.
Yep. That's
yeah. But I mean how could that not happen? I don't know.
Yeah, it was the thing. It's like
theater when that happened.
Yeah, I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh.
my theater too was like gasping, like, oh, and it's like, why are you surprised?
Did you turn around and give him the dad face? Like, what is your problem?
No,
it's doing the movie.
He stood up and he did the John Travolta from Pulp Fiction, the meme. He was like,
yeah, that was my reaction. Like, I mean, it was a fun cameo, but I'm like, I don't know why this is shocking people. And to me, it's a little bit of a credibility thing. I see critics in there like, this cameo came out of nowhere. It's like, okay, you just invalidated anything you said above about being savvy to these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Steve McNacle says, I think families will like the movie and has a good base for future stories.
Yeah, it's definitely a good first step for the new DCU.
And I kind of like the fact that it pushed you into the middle of stuff, because it was like,
and Perch's daughter loves the dog. She's going to come in the next one.
A lot of people are going to love the dog. That was a crowd pleaser. The kids all loved it. You could hear the kids talking about crypto behind you. They were super into it. And I remember one kid in the theater behind me kept going, "Is he Green Lantern? Is he Green Lantern?" Like talking about Guy Gardner. It was like the kid couldn't wrap his head around the fact that that's not the Green Lantern I know, but he said he's Green Lantern.
I saw a lot of reviews where the dog got a little irritating and it was a little too much. Did you feel that at all or no?
I didn't, but I can see how people feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't into that humor, you could get there, but the dog wasn't in it that much. I mean, the dog controls a bit of the plot at one point, or why the plot moves forward, but again, I don't know. Some families may like it. Again, my daughter's reaction was very disinterested in the major parts of the movie she probably needed to be interested in. She super did not like Supergirl showing up in that bit. She really disliked that bit.
I did not like that bit either.
Comic Odyssey. Comics are greater than movies. Read more comics.
No arguments.
I agree.
Yeah.
Again, the best Superman thing out this week.
Better than the
movie. Yes.
Got it.
Without a doubt. Very nice. Caleb says, Perch, Marvel deserves to fail. That's the only hope I have for this movie, and Jurassic Afterbirth will breathe Sue Storm movie into the ground.
I want the Fantastic Four movie to be good.
It looks like they really got the tone right. It looks like they got it better than Superman, at least from the trailers to me.
It depends. Yeah, I think I'm hopeful. I think that the things I'm worried about with Fantastic Four. Number one, the retro kind of feel could get really annoying really fast if they lean into it too heavy.
The mustache,
so just that could become overbearing instantly if they're not restrained with it.
But so Perch, they made the Coppertone ad a man instead of a woman, so it should be fine.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that stuff. Is the movie good or not? I don't care if at some point Sue Storm says she's the leader. I literally don't. Is the movie going to be entertaining? I'm a huge, as I said earlier, I'm a huge fan of the John Byrne Fantastic Four, and I want this movie to be great. Based on the track record of Marvel, that's hope more than expectation. But
I think we have all seen at least somewhere between 6 and 9 hours of Fantastic Four movies in our life. We've yet to see any good hours of Fantastic Four movies.
No, that's all I Incredibles. I saw The Incredibles. That's the best Fantastic Four
movie. First 40 minutes of Fantastic Four stick is perfectly fine.
Fan Four stick sucked. Even the first 40 minutes.
I can't go with you on that journey, Wes.
Because you're not thinking about it critically.
I am thinking about it critically.
Nice channel. Pop. Good on brand.
Name drop.
Like it. No, but
he said the name of the thing.
I'll throw this to the chat and I'll challenge you guys with this. I don't think there's a lot of evidence that if something does really bad, if it burns to the ground and fails, that like a better thing emerges from the ashes. And that's something that I think people have been hoping for a while. Is like, well, Marvel just needs to die so badly that it gets better. that there's actually more history that suggests that it just dies. It doesn't get better. There's nothing good that comes out of ashes.
I think
that's always
been
the complaint, right? That's always been the complaint with I remember when they were doing like that Thundercats kiddie show. And I said, God, this looks awful. And then, like, people were like, the cartoon stands were freaking out at me on Twitter, and I became a copy pasta for a little while. But I was like, you don't understand. I'm not saying that you can't have this. I'm not saying that this shouldn't exist. I'm saying that putting this out in lieu of also putting out a Thundercats product that is for Thundercats fans, as opposed to just taking the IP and wrapping it around this goofy kids show that you want to do.
Right.
That's what kills your franchise. Because if this is terrible and it fails miserably, which it did, executives don't look at it and go, oh, we got it wrong. What they get out of it is, nobody cares about Thundercats. Nobody wants the IP. And it's like, no, we do want the IP. We just don't want it the way that you handed it to us.
That's right. And by the way, Callum, I'm not putting words in your mouth. You're not saying all the things I'm saying right now, just to be fair to you. But Aaron's right. This is kind of the problem of, the argument of, well, why can't there be something for everyone? Well, because if some of those things are really bad, it tanks everything.
There is an argument to be made that, especially when things that have had in recent memory, had a lot of financial success, and then it starts tapering off. There is an argument to be made that you need a massive bomb to clear out, because at that point, everybody's got to look and say, the people that are running this in very recent memory, even though it was the same people, they've clearly lost the plot and they're not getting it back. And to get them out of decision-making positions now, more than likely they're going to say, okay, well, we're just going to take a break from this thing too. And it might be a long time, and you might not get the right people running it the next time around either. In fairness, at this point, I just want it to bomb so that a lot of people I don't like get fired. That's it.
Well, okay. Cal says Tom King Lyle says Tom King is on the Green Lantern show. Yep. That is the big red flag there, Tommy.
Yeah, I'm hoping he's, I don't know, in the background walking a dog or something, and that's it.
Well, I mean, he's going to be the writer. He's one of the main writers. He's one of the
yeah, I know. I'm really worried about it. I don't like the premise that they have built out for the Green Lanterns on the TV show. I don't like that it's grounded on Earth the entire time. I know it's probably all budgetary, and that's probably why they are doing it this way, because it's a lot cheaper to do it this way. But I just feel like they're going to get a lot wrong. And as a Green Lantern fan, we'll go through this experience still not having a really good representation of the comics.
The Crep says, I feel your Green Lantern take, brother. We need a good movie.
We need a good movie. We need to have someone who's really passionate about Green Lantern. Someone.
Well, they did. They had Jeff Johns, and he fucked it up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know the answer. There's not an answer.
You need a writer who I think is willing to take the stance of, I don't need to be creative. I'm just going to give a solid film. I'm not trying to reinvent something. I don't need my fingerprints on this. The fingerprints I'm going to have on this is a solid movie that people will enjoy. It doesn't need more of me than that.
Yeah.
And the problem with a lot of this, and in comics, is that people come in and it's not enough to say, I'm going to write a great Spider-Man series and just get the sales up. I'm going to write a great Spider-Man series, and I have an idea that we're going to actually have Spider-Man lose his leg, and we're going to explore that for a while. And it's like, no. That forget that last part. Just do
the first part.
Be the generic, if that's what you want to call it. Because a lot of creators have told me they don't want to just do a generic Spider-Man run or a generic Superman run. But if generic equals strong sales and good, then do a generic Superman run. Do one that just people can relate to. It gets the sales up. Just do that. You don't need to do something wacky, for example, with Superman's Kryptonian parents. Just do a solid film. Or comic.
Everyone has a thumbprint on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It should be quality. Like your hallmark should be quality.
Quality is your thumbprint.
Yeah,
that's right. You know, when people go, man, this run was amazing. You know, they don't need to say it was really cool what they did with that leg. You know, all amazing legless Spider-Man. It's like, no, you didn't need that. You just needed to write amazing Spider-Man stories.
Yeah.
Steve McNichol, Perch is right. Hama on Wolverine was just great as a saga as a whole.
It was wonderful. Yeah. That is a comic you can put in the little manga trade tankobon style. Start throwing that to bookstores and airports and stuff. Do that.
Actually, it does translate very, very well to that, because since it doesn't really cross over with a lot of other books, you could literally just dump it out, issue, collection. That's why they've had no problem doing all the omnibuses and just dumping those out.
Yeah. Yeah, they should. I mean, there's a lot of comics that are complicated to get out in this format because of all the crossovers and other things they have. There's a couple really good runs that are dead simple. This is one of them.
Andres Hernandez. Dylan, what are your thoughts on John Byrne having Superman kill Zod and soldiers in the Pocket Universe? And is it different than the Man of Steel movie?
I mean, it's different in terms that literally every single person in that universe was dead other than those people. And they're like, hey, we're going to go to your universe and do the same exact thing. So that's why Superman did it, because he felt the need to be like, now I am judge, jury, and executioner because I'm literally the only person left to do this. I liked it. I thought that comic was great. It weighed heavy on Superman for a long time. That's why he exiled himself after that, because he killed them and he didn't know. And then it turns out, like later on, he kind of reconciles himself. It's like, yeah, that was the right decision, but it did mess him up for a bit. But I don't have a problem with Superman killing Zod, Man of Steel either. It's an early on Superman. A lot of people have already died in Man of Steel. He's in a position where he's going to just straight up execute people in front of him. He already tried to take him to space, and Zod sent his ass through a satellite back down to Earth. So it's like, I don't even know what to do against this guy. He's got in a position where he can kill him, and he does it. And that was the right decision to make. I thought people bitching about that was stupid.
Well, the problem is he has a world maker machine. And all Superman had to do was tell him, hey, by the way, your machine, why don't you just go use it on Mars? It's literally right there. You get the same sun. Everything.
Oh, yeah, and Zod's going to be chill about that. No, he's going to be like, why would I go use it there when I can use it here?
You go to Mars.
Mean as much to me as, yeah, exactly. Zod's not going to be like, oh, thanks, bud, for the recommendation.
Actually,
no, he's like, fuck her. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care, but it's also a lot less work.
No,
my problem is more with the setup. Like Zack Snyder couldn't put him in an impossible situation, because it's like, oh no, he's going to burn those people with his heat vision, and I'm the only thing holding his head back, as if you have to point your head at somebody for your eyes to look at them. No, Zod could just go, oh, I'm looking over there, and kill those people. It was a stupid setup. And that's what bothered me. And
yeah, but like, with this, like, they had shown with the heat vision with this, like you specifically have to point your head. If you see when Superman used it or when Zod uses it earlier, it's all like pointing your head. That's just how they establish it.
It has to be straight. It comes from behind the eyeballs.
It's legit. It's because you saw like they made it intense. Like when Superman first uses it, he's like blinky. It's like, oh god, like you can't just like point your eyes around and just use heat vision everywhere. That's how they established it in this universe.
Well, it feels like
I would have just liked it better
if it went lore. Fucking Dylan, how could you even support that?
Every comic book movie ever.
How could you even support this?
Seen a comic book movie? Every single one breaks comic book lore.
That's true.
Literally all of them.
The people arguing that this film simultaneously of this is the first comic book accurate Superman. No bullshit. It had lots of stuff, but that's a silly argument anyway. Because I mean. What?
Silly, this is the kind of arguments that the entire fucking fandom is built on, Perch. This is business.
It's definitely you owned a shop, Perch. How many times have you heard these arguments?
Never. My clients all just sat there quietly and consumed.
He's exposing himself as a fraud.
That's true.
You had a comic shop bookshop that had library rules.
That's right. No talking.
You just kept shushing people.
Just money and prostitution. That's our rule.
All right, Dylan. Callum wants to know: do gamers actually control the Superman clone in the fight? Do we want to give the spoilers away?
We shouldn't get into spoilers, but there's no gamers doing anything in this movie. I'll say that.
And he's not controlled per se. Like it's not like I have a joystick and I'm making the guy do things. Like that's not a thing.
Wasn't
Pepper talk. What James Gunn did to Jor-El is a disgrace. It seems every product Gunn does. The main character has daddy issues. Even Pa Kent was an illiterate hillbilly.
Pa Kent is not an illiterate hillbilly. I'm not going to get into Jor-El because that's going way into spoilers, so I'm not even going to talk about anything with that. But Pa Kent is not an illiterate hillbilly. He's one of the better parts of the movie. He's handled really well. I wanted more of him. I wanted more of the Kents. We just didn't get much of them. But
sounds like he's supporting.
I don't know where you even
rednecks.
Yeah, I don't even know where you got that.
It's the visual. the visual looks. I mean, if you see him, and not saying this is you, the Pepper, but if you just look at the trailer, yeah, he looks like a dumpy hillbilly for sure, because he doesn't talk, you don't say anything. But that scene is powerful. The kints are good. 100% agree with you on the Jor-El factor here.
Did he like hand him a piece of paper like, son, please read this letter for me? I can't read.
If you guys have been to the Midwest, like, have you been to the Midwest? Because like when you meet older people in the Midwest, it is a slower way of life. You know, it's like I go to the Midwest and it's a little bit maddening for me as a Californian because, you know, you talk fast. And everybody always says like, you know, you talk fast.
No, it's talking like an asshole.
No, but like when you go, it's just a slower, it's not all hustle and bustle and rush. So
Perch is saying Midwesterners are retarded.
No, I'm saying it's life at a different speed. It's life at a different speed. Like
speed
you
of
go,
stupid.
You're getting your stuff checked out at the grocery store, and the girl's just like, boop.
She's like, I don't even know how to scan this.
No, it's just slower. It's like it doesn't
top.
have to be. There's not as much rush, is what I'm saying.
California
So
lecturing us about the true middle.
What is that? Red
I'm not
sign
saying
say?
it's better or worse. I'm just saying I'm defending Paquette here and saying that he talks at a very kind of slow pace because that's just the way that it is.
Okay,
Doesn't make him an illiterate hillbilly.
Do I talk like I'm stupid?
All right.
Well, yes.
Don't answer that. I don't need to hear. You don't need to confirm anything. Nathan Hansen. I've been getting Wolverine and Spider-Man. Should I be looking at Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, or is that one a pass? I would say that one's an instant pass.
I read the first 2 issues. It is not good. Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Wolverine books were good.
We're talking about the one from the 80s, right?
No, the one that's out right now.
That one's Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. This one's Wolverine and Kitty Pryde.
No, I know. The current one sucks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Bad art, too.
Really
Magic 4 Nights was good, and then the one after that was good, but this one's not at all.
Yeah, of course. The 2 that I didn't read were good, and the one that I said, fuck it, okay. Because here's the problem. A lot of the Claremont stuff that I've read by him in the last few years, when he's on something for very short periods of time, has always been disappointing because he's one of those guys that it takes a while these days for him, for probably the last 20 years. It's taken him a dozen, 18 issues to really get his groove under him. So him doing 5-issue stories is everything kind of sucked.
But you are doing the right thing, Nathan. Wolverine and Spider-Man is awesome, and Carrie Andrews is making Mark Guggenheim look much better than he normally does. Gallum, thank you, Perch. On what Doc said, I agree because they made their hatred for the audience loud and clear from She-Hulk, so they get what they deserve. But they said they were sorry with Thunderbolts. Sorry, he was a good movie.
Thunderbolts was a good movie.
Better than Superman?
Not the best comic movie I've ever seen, but an enjoyable film.
It was an enjoyable film. Better than Superman? No. Well, I don't know. They're different.
Like Superman better.
You gave Superman a 4 out of 10. That's a failing grade, Perch. You can't say you liked it.
No, Thunderbolts was better than that, but also didn't matter. As much.
It's an Avengers movie.
No. Look, Spider-Man is the birth of this new universe. It's a tentpole film. There's certain expectations for it that are different from Thunderbolts, but Thunderbolts probably was a better constructed movie at times, in my opinion.
It's a Temu Captain America movie.
So who cares? It's fun.
Wraith X7. I noticed some similarities between Superman and Black Adam films in regards to the plot. War in Foreign Country, teaming up with the super team.
I mean, I guess there's some similarities, but they're handled
James
differently.
Gunn's just ripping off the rock,
much
dude.
better in this movie.
First, he got him kicked out of the fucking DC studios. Now he's stealing his ideas.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
For sure.
5 times.
Black Adam, The Boys, and Invincible. We pretty much have this movie. What can you say? I'm joking. It's not that bad. But these movies do go to the same plot points over and over again. And so, yeah, there's definitely similarities to the plot because there seems to be 20 unique idea plot points that everybody goes and recycles.
There was no Skybeam. I mean, we can all be glad about that.
True.
So, Perch, I think they've made a mistake a little bit here conceptually. I think the reason the MCU was so strong all the way through Endgame is because every story they were telling was based on amazing source material. And while there are certainly hints and it sounds like it's inspired by All-Star Superman and some other stuff, it's not really based on a Superman story. It's all kind of original stuff. And it's going to be hard to do that blueprint without, taking from the best source material possible. I think they're making a mistake there.
Yeah, I could go with that. I think, look, I think it's kind of the same problem with the comics in my mind, and maybe I have this wrong, but it's that you need to have a couple movies out there. When I say a couple, I probably mean like a dozen if you're doing a true franchise, like a lot. And you just need to have them hit the mark with really kind of great iconic moments and stories that probably are more than just one comic, but could be a couple. And you need to put that out there, and you need to not worry about a twist or some kind of unique thing that you have to do for this film that puts a unique spin on it for Hollywood or for that audience. Because remember, a lot of your audience never read those comics. You don't necessarily need to do that, but you just need to set up some iconic stuff. If you're doing Green Lantern, you need to have a movie where you're building up Green Lantern in a fairly simple way. You do not need to introduce a third cousin who is a computer hacker and somehow wedge that into it because you think that's going to bring in tweens. You just got to hit the mark with some great characters. And Marvel, as much as some of those early movies, I mean, the first Captain America, the first Thor, these are not the movies that people often cite as the best. And Captain America, the Winter Soldier, a lot of people think was better than the first one. But you need to have the groundwork placed of a lot of these just basic characters and these moments that allow you to then spin off from them. And that's, I don't know. That to me is the issue.
The first Thor movie is the most underrated MCU movie by far.
But is it better than? Well, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
it's better than every Thor movie after it.
And Black Panther is just a clone of it. The first Black Panther movie is literally just Thor copied.
Yeah.
Callum says the problem is Warner Brothers people are stupid. They're from the Midwest, and they should have planned ahead like a redemption sequel to Man of Steel, then set up a verses, and then so on and so on.
I don't know if that's in reaction to me, but what I was saying was just that the Midwest is less of a rat race than other states.
Aaron, just stop, man. It's just making it worse, man.
I agree with Aaron's point.
You're from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Well,
sort of.
Basically, Aaron's saying you're not smart enough to understand his point.
Yes. I don't even get what Aaron's getting at, but
how many Doomsday orders have been lost in this last 10 minutes?
Oh my God. Like I've lost the whole Midwest.
Keep in mind, Superman fans, this is the guy who liked it. So who's laughing now?
Yeah, that's right. I liked Midwestern Superman. I like the fact that he seemed to have more Midwestern values.
I love bumpkins.
Well, James Gunn is from Missouri, so
yeah, it's a salty.
He's not very representative of Missouri people.
Well, I'm saying he's probably not going to be like calling everyone from Missouri retarded, is what I'm saying, because he's from there.
And I don't
he's calling people from Kansas retarded, which I'm perfectly okay with it. From Missouri,
if you come out of this movie saying, "Man, the Kents were dumb, illiterate rednecks," that's you go. That's again only what you take with you. That's you going in and having that in your head and then reading it in the film. There's a lot of people reading a lot of things into these films that like is coming from their preconceived bias. And I actually went into this film and kind of like just tried to shrug as much of that off as possible and just sit down and have the experience that the filmmakers were trying to give to me, because I wanted to watch a Superman film that made me feel happy. And ultimately it did. Like I walked out of the theater and I was like, I had a good time and I felt pretty hopeful and I liked the character of Superman and I liked Corin Sweat's portrayal of him. He is the most earnest character in a movie that's like filled with kind of like other characters that are cynical and there's a good juxtaposition of him and Lois there. I thought it worked.
Yeah,
I feel so much better. Simple West finally understands things now that Aaron's explaining them to me.
I'm glad I was able to come down to your level, Wes, and really just delineate. Is that too big a word?
West.
It's delineate too big because I can rephrase that.
Simple
Aaron is so beautiful, and I'm sorry that it didn't last long, man. There's like such a beautiful speech, and then Wes just came in and
he always does that every time.
Gunn joke at a serious one.
I'm just glad
I undercut it like James Gunn.
Yeah.
I pulled a gun.
I'm just look. I come onto this show anytime Perch is on, and I'm just like, I hope Perch likes me.
I'm just glad that the West Coast jokes are no longer aimed at me. So that's.
So Dylan, the original plan was to do a Man of Steel sequel, a Batman movie before they got into the crossovers and stuff. They hot shot it the first time. Hopefully they don't do that again.
Yeah, because that's what Zack Snyder wanted to do. He wanted to do a Batman movie. He wanted Dark Knight Returns, so that's why they jumped to it. And hopefully they don't do that this time. Hopefully they actually set everything up. I don't think they'll jump to it this time. I think they learned their lesson, but only time will tell.
Andres Hernandez, isn't the whole point of what's so funny about true justice in the American way to show Superman doesn't kill, which contradicts John Byrne's Zod?
The whole thing was with John Byrne's Zod is like that's a learning moment for Superman. And
put him in a situation,
he's killed several times in the comics. He killed Doomsday. When he comes back after Doomsday kills him, he obliterates Cyborg Superman into nothingness. He punches through his chest and vibrates his arm while saying, "No prison can hold you, man. So I just got to get rid of you from existence." And completely obliterates him. Everyone loves Alan Moore's Superman. He murders Mxyzptlk in that. No one has a problem with that. People pick and choose when they bitch about Superman killing. I don't want Superman going out there murdering people all the time. I don't think he should kill. But if he kills once, if he has a learning experience from it, I'm fine with it. I just hate.
It's not. You're 100% right. You don't want Superman out murdering people. You want Superman conflicted and torn. You want Superman struggling. The key with Superman, understanding that character, is that he knows he can pretty much wipe the planet out fairly easily. He knows this. He's consciously aware of it, and he's restraining himself all the time. That's what makes him great, is that he's having to pull back constantly. He's got himself in check constantly. And so if there is a threat that he murders, it's going to weigh heavily on him. It's going to be very painful, which is the contrast to somebody like a Wonder Woman, who would be much more pragmatic around, fuck this guy. I'm exaggerating, but that's what Superman is. It's not that he can never kill, because comics accurate Superman, he's killed tons of times.
Yeah, and
it's a difference too between, it's like even in Man of Steel, which I didn't like him snapping Zod's neck, but he didn't murder Zod. That's not a murder. It's like he used the appropriate amount of force to stop Zod in that moment. Was it appropriate? Amount of
force to stop him breathing in his heart. He murdered him.
I mean, he had that's not murder. Other options prior to that.
It's manslaughter. Come on.
And also, this was early Superman, so I saw this as, okay, this is like really him learning and be like, I never want to experience this again.
Like Mice and Men, where
but then in the next movie,
his neck.
Well, that's the thing. Batman Superman is terrible, and like the rest is there. But it set the groundwork, because Henry Cavill even talked about it, like in interviews, where he's like, I thought we had set nice groundwork to like get Superman to where he should be, and him learning from Man of Steel. But then they never did that.
The next movie, he punches homicide. He punches that dude right through the wall. Don't tell me he didn't kill that terrorist.
Also,
yeah, I know. He obliterates that guy.
Also, Zod's an alien, so he's not a human, so it can't be murder.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
Well, so can we consider the Cyborg Superman and Doomsday deaths like killing? Do they even count? They don't have souls.
They're not murder.
First of all, Hank Henshaw, is he really alive? Come on, is he really living? He's more.
It's debatable on a cyborg.
You busted up a VCR.
He's already dead.
You destroyed a printer like in Office Space, and then Doomsday's a monster.
Yeah. So it's not murder.
But we got Superman Exile out of that John Byrne story, and it really handled Superman killing very well because of how much it messed him up and how he reconciled with it and had to face what he did.
True.
And it was really cool. That whole era of Superman is really cool. And they have like a big-ass omnibus you can get for it.
Kaiser Jose, as somebody who moved from Chicago, the Midwest, to small town Alabama, life is slower and the people do move slower. It is maddening. So there you go, Aaron. Even people in the South are dumber than us.
That's offensive to me, but
Aaron, I didn't say there's anything wrong with a slower pace of life. I actually envy it. I hate the rat race of California. So when you go down south, it is kind of maddening when you're like, "Come on, I want to get out of this Stuckies or whatever. Can you ring up my, can you ring up my stuff?" They're just like, "Boop." because it's just a slower pace. That does drive you nuts as somebody who's used to the rat race. But when you spend some time there and you can kind of like slow your pace down.
You know what drives me nuts? Nice. What an enormous shithole Boston is.
How's that? Oh, is Sully coming in?
Holy, he's in the chat. Here we go.
Maybe eventually, but
it's the people, not the town.
Well, it's the people, it's the roads, it's the fucking buildings.
If we can replace the Bostonians, you know, then that town could be fine.
In college, I very, very seriously thought about going into biology just so I could figure out a, viral weapon that would kill only Bostonians. I love the city. I hated everyone that lived there. Huh? Yes, I contemplated terrorism, but only of one small subsect of Americans.
Well, this chat's gone in an interesting direction today. Yeah. But Aaron, all I can say is bless your heart.
Oh shit! I'm in trouble now.
Nice.
So we'll wrap up the Superman stuff. I do need to take a little break here, but Dylan, based on what you saw on Superman, where do you hope they go from here? Is there some source material that you think would work for a Superman sequel to this movie?
I mean, Jeff Johns' Brainiac would be cool to see, especially because we know Supergirl's coming, so I think Jeff Johns' Brainiac could be really cool, especially because the little bit of Krypton stuff we got in this, they could expand on that more. With Brainiac, he could do some cool things. It's hard to talk about because I don't want to spoil the movie, but I'll just say Brainiac, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank's Brainiac book is where I'd like them to go draw inspiration from for a sequel. I think you could do a lot of cool stuff there and tell some interesting stories. And also, if I had to bet money, I don't think James Gunn's directing the sequel. I think he just did this one because they're doing it's the first ever DCU movie. There's a lot on his shoulder. He's like, I'm writing, I'm producing, I'm directing, I'm making sure this first one's a solid movie because he didn't want anyone else to mess it up potentially. So I feel like the second one he'll hand off to someone else. He may write it, but I think someone else is definitely directing the second Superman movie. If I had to place a bet on it,
I'm sure you're right. I don't think he'll. He's going to set up the major tent poles here and kind of move on and be producer. That's what he wants to do, and great,
Yeah.
I just hope what I would like to see, and again, not doing any spoilers, is for those of you familiar with my channel, we had this whole concept of City of Bruce, and it feels like they could do something similar with Superman. Just saying.
Yeah. I could get behind and he could definitely figure out how to do it in a timely manner. Bruce, it would have taken him a long time to impregnate the entire city, but Superman probably do it in about a year.
It would work more logically given his powers and speed and everything else. And plus he loves humans. So, I mean,
loves humans.
Yeah. I like wandering right up to spoiler lines and just kind of peeking over them a little bit.
You know what I think would make James Gunn do a Superman sequel, though? If the villain were Nixie Spitlick. Because I think he'd just be able to do the wacky shit that he wants to do.
Yeah. And the Kleenex woman problem, as somebody put in the chat with City of Clark. There's ways to do that. You just, a little kind of kryptonite lotion on there. You could do things.
You could do the Justice League Unlimited speech where you could be like, I live in a world of tissue. But you can take it, can't you? And we got a whole different movie on our hands.
That's cool. That's right. I mean, I just feel like it would fit right in with where the movie's going.
Aaron, did you see it twice in the same day, or did you spread it apart?
No, I saw it Thursday at a matinee. I was like, let's go early, beat the crowd. I kind of want to And then Friday, I went and I hung out with Jesse Snyder. And he hadn't seen it, and he was like, "Let's go to a movie." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, and then I told him, I said, "Oh, I saw Superman." And he was like, "Oh, do you want to go to a different movie?" And I'm like, "What other movie would we go to? What else is out that we would go and I already saw the terrible Jurassic World sequel, so yeah, let's go see Superman again." And then I kind of got to see it with the crowd and feel the crowd energy and see how they were responding to it. So
that's cool. And Dylan, what are you seeing it a second time?
I'm seeing it today a second time. So. Yeah, I'll see how it is with no expectations now that I know what happens. So
this is not a spoiler, but because it's in the trailers and it's in the the clips that we saw. But the moment that took me out of the movie for a brief second that I absolutely hated is when Mr. Terrific's like, "Quit messing around." And he's like, "I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff." That felt so tonally inconsistent, and it did not land. And I was like, I wish that piece wasn't in the movie.
Well, that was the kind of humor that we were getting. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah, I did not like that.
There were those moments, but we'll see. While we're waiting for Wes to come back too, obviously this gets compared a lot to Fantastic Four, and we talked a little bit about it earlier. I struggle a lot because I like I said, I love that. I love the comic. I do like the fact that we're going to the 60s. It does look like we're not getting an origin story, or it's going to be something similar where it's just told very quickly, because they've got that narration happening in the trailer. And from what I've understood, it's gonna be similar in how it's going to land, like it did in Superman. So we're going to skip right to stuff. The Pedro Pascal issue that's been beaten to death, I think, is an issue. He is in so many things, and I think this is a problem for actors in general. So curious to get you guys' take on this. I think no matter who it is, forget about Pedro for a moment, but if the actor is in so many other things and is so recognizable, and then you try and plop them down and they're playing a character that is a well-known comic character, I think they're in for, at best, a much harder climb to make that character work, because you just can't escape into what this is. And Superman had a bit of this, but to its credit, there weren't as many of those moments. I mean, the biggest problem you had is a lot of those guys show up in James Gunn films, and so you get the feeling of, hey, here's a Guardians reunion cast to some extent, but that very minorly. It wasn't bad.
My issue is the mustache.
Yeah,
it really. I'm not even joking. Like, it really annoys me. Yes.
Yeah, like shave your stupid pedophile mustache.
Hey, well, thank you for nailing it, because that's exactly where I was going for.
So Mark Miller took his kids to go see Superman, and the Fantastic Four trailer went up. And when it was over, one of them leaned over and said, "Please don't make us see that movie."
Based.
No, I've never seen Holly. Is there any actor that has been more astroturfed than Pedro Pascal? They are trying so hard to make fetch happen with him. And it's like he's got no track record of like box office success. Like, he's not a proven draw. So this Fantastic Four movie, if it bombs, I'm like in the Doc camp where I'm like, well, one of the good things that'll come out of it bombing is that maybe it'll be like, well, maybe Pedro's not a leading man. Maybe we should stop trying to push him. But man, they are pushing him hard. All the articles that are coming out, he can't stop running his mouth and giving them bad press. But every article is like, he's the poster of what masculinity should be. And you're like, no, that's not, no guy is buying that.
I find it super easy to avoid the articles, because I see his face and I see a magazine and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to read some kind of like People magazine in a grocery store line for? I'm not picking that up. So anyway, I find it easy to do that. He is overexposed, and I think he's got 8 movies behind this one. So, he's not going to go away even if it bombs. And I don't think it's going to bomb unless, we're truly signing up to the idea that, it's got to make $1.4 billion to make its marketing money back.
No, I think it'll do. I think it'll do okay. I think it's definitely going to be, but I think it's going to do okay in that Guardians 3 kind of way.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's not going to have the biggest box office. It might have a decent tail, and everybody's going to forget that they saw it by the time they leave the theater.
Well, exactly. And that's the damning thing. So that's where I think a lot of the internet commentary, I know we were getting off movies, but that's where I think a lot of it gets wrong, is they're focusing on the wrong lead. It's not that it has to make back budget and box office and all the rest. People have these weird calculations they do. If you're an investor and a shareholder, sure, I guess you care about that. The bigger problem is 1 month after it's debuted in the theater, are you remembering and thinking about it? Because that is what built the MCU. The money, obviously you need the money, but it's the way people carried it with them and remembered it and were desperate to go to the next movie because they remembered how the last one ended and there was a cliffhanger-like feeling. And that's what Marvel's lost, is regardless of the money, you forget these films exist weeks after you've seen them or days after you've seen them. So with Fantastic Four, that to me is the big threat for it. Forget the money. If this is truly, springboarding to Avengers and all the rest of the other things they're doing, you've got to walk out of this movie really excited about what comes next, or remembering it and being hyped for that. Same thing goes for Superman. That's what these movies need right now, and that's what they're missing.
Yeah.
And if people come out and they so you've got people going to movies less. You know, they're not going to the movies as often, and you've already got 2 blockbusters. It seems like Superman's going to do very well, at least in its first week. We don't know what the drop off will be, but Jurassic World did really well, you know, in its opening week. Now Superman's done really well. So if your movie budget is limited, Fantastic Four has actually kind of got a problem coming behind those movies. And then I don't know what comes out after it that will quickly like take the, you know, if they have a big opening weekend, cool. But what's the drop off the second week? That seems to be more important now at the box office than the first weekend. And and then what comes after it that takes attention away from it immediately. So if it's a forgettable film, people come out and they're like, well, you know, that was fine, you know, or I had a good time or whatever, but they immediately forget it and move on to the next thing. You're right, Perch. That is a much bigger problem.
It's that problem. And I know we want to get on to X-Men, but I will throw this out there as kind of a counterpoint to one of the things you said, which is historically, it's better when you have a lot of well-doing movies in the theater. It's why people stack up the bigger movies in the summer. They know there's a lot of movies that are getting a lot of money. It is actually to Fantastic Four's benefit if Jurassic World and Superman make a lot of money, because people don't necessarily think of, well, I've run out of money for that third film. They're remembering the hype they had in the theater, and it tends to carry them. Just historically is where box office goes.
They make the money appear.
Yeah, the money gets found to go to that show. But the problem is if Superman is great and people remember it. So for all of us listening and those of you here, if a week from now you're still thinking about the plot points, you're really excited about what comes next, there's some teasers about, I wonder what is going to happen with Supergirl. That's where I think that was a bit of a fumble, because that's one of the tee-ups to the next film, and you should be more hyped for what happens there. That's where your mind should be, being really excited about what comes next. And if you're really excited about what comes next out of Superman, that's going to hurt Fantastic Four, because there is going to be that feeling of, this is the universe I care about. But we'll see. Like I said, I've said it on my show. I'm very, very open with, I really do want Fantastic Four to do well, but that is a hope. That's not an expectation.
And to add one additional thing, I think there's a direct correlation between the box office and the give a shit, and it's determined by repeat viewings, people that go and see it again. Because if 2 weeks later they're like, I want to see this movie again, you're improving the box office, yes, and you're making that look better and it's more financially successful, but it's also a great indicator on how much people give a damn.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, let's hear for the people. Sleeve McNackle. It isn't that Superman should never kill. He should take each life seriously, should be working towards being better. He should hold himself accountable when he does kill. That's between the difference between Man of Steel and the comics.
I agree with everything there, except in Man of Steel, he is completely distraught at killing Zod. It wasn't like he just broke his neck. It's like, everything's chill. The problem was how Batman v Superman handled it. They messed it up in the sequel. In Man of Steel, I don't think it was handled poorly.
He should have put himself in the Phantom Zone.
It's like it
danger to everybody.
Well, he didn't have access to the Phantom Zone, but yeah, in Man of Steel, like, I agree with what he says in this comment, everything except for the fact that I thought they handled it fine in Man of Steel, because he was completely broken by killing Zod. He was not happy with himself with having to do that. It was not a good moment for him. But then Batman v Superman, they just don't handle the ramifications of that at all. It was really stupid.
I can't believe you're such a Man of Steel apologist, dude. You're a Snyder bro.
I don't like Batman v Superman. How's that work?
Oh.
That's the one everyone worships.
Yeah, if Dylan was a Snyder bro, he'd be on here going, you don't get it, man. That movie had themes.
So bad. God, I hate that movie.
Superman can get raped in prison. What the movie?
Zack Snyder's so edgy. Look, I got arm tattoos. I'm an edgy bro.
Did you like the Snyder cut of Justice League?
For what it was, it's fine. I don't know why there's just like a 5-hour movie. Like, for it just being like a straight to streaming, like, came out during COVID, 5-hour. I was like, this is what I need right now. Just like 5 hours. Like, I've got nothing to do. The whole world shut down. Well, my world shut down because of COVID, because I'm out in Seattle and nothing's going on. And so it was fine. There was some cool stuff in it, but it was not something I wanted for going forward for DC. If this was like what was the future of DC and released in theaters, no, terrible. But for what it was just like something released to streaming, I was like, it's fine. So
it was better than the theatrical release. I'll give it that.
Yes.
You know what's weird about that Justice League movie is, because I watched it, I'm like, man, this is really bad. But Cyborg is the best thing about the entire movie, and he's the shittiest character.
I completely disagree about that. I do not think Cyborg was the best part of that movie.
Easily the best part about the entire movie.
I mean, it made more sense when they restored his scenes. I understand why Ray Fisher was pissed off at Joss Whedon's version.
Well, you're mad because he didn't say booyah or something?
No, I mean, I was glad he didn't say booyah in the Snyder version. I was like, oh, thank God.
I will say, little side note, I accidentally owned the Snyder Cut because I bought Mad Max like 4K. It comes with all the Mad Max movies. It comes with a digital code for each one. Every time I redeemed it, it was for the Snyder Cut. So they gave me the wrong codes. Every single code in my Mad Max collection is for the fucking Snyder Cut. So Warner Brothers messed that up. So I own it digitally because of that.
So like we're going to force people to watch this fucking movie.
Perch, is that more unfortunate than Marvel accidentally putting like a porn hotline number on a Captain America comic book?
They knew what they were doing.
Did they do that? I missed that story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Marvel does that kind of stuff a lot more frequently than people think. There's comics, and we're probably not going to have time in this chat, but at some point we should have a wonderful little conversation about the new Captain America by Zdarsky. But anyway,
or just all of the times where they've needed to recall a comic because they fucked up and put something in there they shouldn't have.
It happens a lot. It happens enough that you could either say there's a secret agenda in there, or truly they have idiots with no quality control. It's a second
Missouri
one,
and Kansas, you fucking Oklahoma bumpkins.
That's true. They hired everybody from the Midwest. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody there is just all roop-de-doop-de-doo.
Carlitos Figueroa, I haven't seen the film yet, but I think people are nitpicking too much. Despite some faults, we should be glad to have a good Superman film with room for improvement.
Well, sure. I'm the detractor, I think, of the panel tonight who liked it the least. We should be glad to have a Superman film. It's not good for me, but I'm glad it exists.
It feels like you're nitpicking the shit out of this movie, though, Perch.
Sure, I am. That's what we're doing. That's what critics do.
That's comic book conversation, man. But what I like is the fact that we all have we're kind of in different places on the film, but we're having a nice conversation about it because it's not on social media where we're like, you're an idiot. No, you don't understand.
You're from the Midwest, retard. You don't understand this movie.
I don't expect
somebody's
you from Idaho,
fucking Arkansas.
It does sound like something a California Nazi would say.
But no, I think it's good. And at the end of the day, I am happy that there is a Superman film in theaters that kids seem to respond to, because damn it, I would love it if kids got into Superman. So on that,
I've also seen the opposite of nitpicks and my comments in my Discord, people discussing the movie. I've seen people be like, I had problems with the movie. There were several things, but I loved it. 9 out of 10. This movie's amazing. So it's I see a lot of people seeing the nitpicks, just be like, nah, I had too much fun with it. I don't care. So I've seen kind of the opposite of nitpicks. I have seen some people nitpicking, but for the most part, I've seen kind of the opposite of that.
Yeah. No, there are, and I don't like the conversation around people terrified to say certain things. Just like it, dislike it, nitpick. I mean, look, as comic fans, we should nitpick things. That you can nitpick things and not cancel somebody or go to war with somebody or make them feel like shit or call them, hillbillies from the Midwest. You can do these things and still be reasonable.
Absolutely. Comics Odyssey. Dylan, did you watch the ultimate cut of Batman versus Superman? Is that the one you disliked? Also, do you think we will be talking about Gunn Superman in 12 years like Man of Steel?
The ultimate cut is also awful. I saw it that's what released when they released the digital and on Blu-ray and everything. They released the ultimate cut, and it's a little bit better than the theatrical cut, but it's still a terrible movie. You just get a little bit more of Clark Kent investigating Batman. That's the main difference. So it's a tiny bit better, but it's also kind of worse because there's more movie and you don't want more of that movie. But yeah, I've seen both versions and I don't like the ultimate cut. I think we'll be talking about it in 12 years. I feel like people won't be as opinionated on it as Man of Steel though, because Man of Steel is so divisive when people talk about it. So I think people will be talking about Gunn Superman 12 years, but I just don't think it'll be as heated or opinionated as when you talk about Man of Steel.
the team at Sigma Comics. Shout out to the Thinking Critical team from Eternal Con in Long Island, New York. Support your favorite comic channel, the best in the biz. Hit like and subscribe. It's awesome. HH is back home, or at least in the area.
HH
Probably
is
not
great.
from out.
He's a con master, man. He's every con. It's incredible.
It's great that his book is called Here Comes Calico, because that is literally what happens. Whatever town you're in, if it has a con, here comes Calico. He's there. He's there hustling.
He's amazing, man. Incredible.
Very good. Hopefully he's having a great time and getting to see everybody in the area. I guess we should talk a little bit about this X-Men Age of Revelation. We're going back to a pseudo Age of Apocalypse, Perch. I know you're probably more excited about this than most. Aaron and I were more skeptical. I just don't feel like Doug Ramsey as Revelation has the gravitas of a character as Apocalypse.
Well, we've gotten how many issues with Doug Ramsey Apocalypse? The Into That Limited series and the other one. So we've gotten 2. So no, he hasn't been. I mean, Apocalypse. I mean, Jesus, Claremont built him up. Oh, sorry, not even Claremont. That was Lee Simonson, right? That first built him up. I mean, he had years before we were getting a lot out of him. We saw little battles, but I mean, when we fully got to Age of Apocalypse and everything that was going on there, we had a long time. So I mean, Doug, who knows? Doug could get there. Sure, why not? But it's not going to be in 2 issues. The bigger problem I have is, if you remember Age of X-Man, which was the bridge event before Hickman, and you had a bunch of kind of you had this big announcement. Kelly Thompson was there. I think Ed Brisson was there, and they were the new X-Office geniuses that were going to do that. Maybe was it Ed? Yeah, it was Ed.
Rosenberg was on Uncanny.
Yeah, Rosenberg was there. Oh, he came in later, but you had this group, and then they interrupted it for this event. And the event turned out to just be them killing time until Hickman was ready to go with the Krakoa era. And I will wager a strong prediction. This is them killing time until they get to whatever is next off of the Simone Jed McKay. This is just them trying to eat 6 months or somewhere around there of comics. And will it be consequential? Will it matter? First of all, Age of Apocalypse, it's a good series. It's not my favorite of the X-Men. If you look at everything the X-Men has done, it's well remembered and people like it. But they've already redone it multiple times. This is like the 4th time or 5th time they've gone back to this well. Who knows? Maybe it will be better with a book like Long Shots. We'll find out.
Binary, dude.
But you got Binary, the Kamala Khan character in the
Expatriate X-Men.
Yeah, I just don't see this doing anything to change its current trajectory at all. And it feels like they're killing time for whatever's next. And God help us with whatever's next.
So you don't think whatever's next is going to be big like House of X Powers of 10?
No, because I mean, what was next from the Krakoa era was what we're in now. So I mean, good. Look, like I said, I have hope that the Fantastic Four. I want it to be a good movie. I have lost hope with the 5th reboot of the X line. I would love for it to be great, but come on, I mean, I can only be a sucker like 6 times. I mean,
I think we're all at the point now where we all would pray. We would have a parade in the streets for Chuck Austin's return on X-Men, because it's been so much worse. And every single time we're only like a year into now trying to look back at the wonderful days of the Krakoan era because of how bad From the Ashes is. A year from now, we're going to be sitting here going, well, From the Ashes was better, unfortunately.
I mean, I hope not, but yeah, it feels that way because it keeps happening. Yes,
because the Krakoan era makes us look back and go, oh, well, at least we didn't hate the Colors era. It was, oh, well, the all new, all different era was that was a little bit better. I mean, we're literally every single time. The last time it was good was what? The Mike Carey era?
Yeah, probably. I mean, to get a really run that people were excited about, and this is the big problem I mentioned earlier, the X-Men needs to be a top-selling 100,000 plus copy book. It has to be that for the industry to be healthy and strong. And this is the big problem, far more than any of the smaller books we talk about. The X-Men should just be a banger of sales every single time, and it's not. And so we're entering into this, and you know, whenever I say things like this, I get people in the comments around like, "Oh, why can't you just like something?" Man, I want to, I do, but it is fool me 18 times. It really does get to a point where you're asking me to forget about all history, sign up, blindly leap into this thing. And frankly, how many issues were there? 9 in this series?
There's 16 different titles.
16. So I remember I got so much shit. And I think I was on your show when I did it. I took, at the time, it was that Ten of Swords series, because people were still kind of sucking off Hickman at the time. And I just calculated up how much you were going to spend on this thing if you collected it all, the whole thing. And that was 24-ish issues, as I recall. This, I mean, you're asking us to go in at $4.99 a pop for hundreds of dollars to get this Doug Ramsey Age of Apocalypse redo. But that's a big ask. That's a freaking big ask. So
you think it's 6 months, not 4?
I believe with the alphas and the megas, it will be somewhere between 4 and 6 months. If you look at the track record, if I look at Age of X-Man, that kind of stuff, that's about what we had.
If you look at, because this is, okay, you had Age of Apocalypse, then you had the redo of Age of Apocalypse, the 10-year anniversary miniseries. Now, that didn't interrupt the regular books. Then you had Age of X, which is essentially what this is again. And then you had AVX, which is essentially what this is. Then you had House of M before that, because again, alternate universe thing, Age of X, alternate universe thing, Age of X-Man.
And you've also got X-Men of Apocalypse coming out just a month before this even starts.
Yeah. So yeah, you have all these already, and you have what? Fucking Kamala Khan just went to the Age of Apocalypse.
Sure.
We've seen this done so many times, so repeatedly. And it's just, we're sick of it. This is the 9th time they've done this.
And we don't have to buy it, and people won't. But again, that's the problem. People aren't buying this stuff. You have too many issues, what should be flagship issues, selling between 35,000 and 50,000. Like marquee titles at Marvel are selling in that rate. So that's not only going to hurt Marvel, it's going to hurt DC, it's going to hurt independents, it's going to hurt shops. It's going to send shops to invest more into Pokemon cards and not comics. And this is bad for this to happen. And so if you're saying, here's a big event, we want to get you hyped on this stuff, man, go for it.
Have new writers.
But you got to not ask your audience to spend, and I'll calculate it out here. Tommy, you get in here, but I'll do the calculation out of how much this thing is going to cost. But I guarantee you, it's going to be over $200.
$300.
Yeah.
I made a pact with myself that I will not jump into these big events. Night Terrors ruined it for me. I spent $140 on that thing. So yeah, I'll wait. If it's good, I'll hear about it and I'll get the trade.
Yep, I feel the same way.
It won't be good, Tommy. I'm just gonna spoil. That's a spoiler alert for you. Yeah. It's not gonna be good.
It's just it's too much to ask your audience who is trying to get on board with your comics and trying to get back into these big events, and they've had the rug pulled out from them under them many times. And this is frankly why DC is at least in the position to kick Marvel's ass at the moment, because they are prioritizing some of these core titles and getting them up there and getting some reliability there. And meanwhile, if Marvel wants to regain this and really put this stuff out, they need to put a top tier team on Avengers and X-Men, artist and writer. They need to not mess with that for 2 years. You have to have a 24-issue run, and then you just have to make each issue count. And they've got to count without having to rely on a crutch of a 24 to 50 issue tie-in. It's got to just stand alone and be great. And if you do that, you get that book selling again back at close to 100,000. That's what it takes. The crazy part is, whether you like it or hate it, what's happened with the Absolute Universe, and you put in Batman, Batman, you do not have to read any of the other Absolute books to read Batman. It is one book. And this one book is coming out, and the arcs are not that long. And again, you hate it or not, it is building a foundation, and the sales are high. So unless you're a complete Midwestern fool, like Aaron says, you have to.
I did not say that.
I know. I'm just loving that I'm the one who's not taken out context for a change. But look,
right.
Like, just don't be original. Copy that approach. If you're Tom Brevoort and you have no idea what to do, which is clear, look over there at what the competition is doing. Do that. This is a mistake.
A huge mistake. They're not going to replace any of the writers. Why would nobody's coming back until there's real change?
16 books. Christ.
Radioactive Spider-Man.
I mean, and you know, we'll get the cheap answer of, well, you don't have to buy them all, you dumbass Midwestern fan. And it's like, yeah, we know that. We know we don't have to buy them all. But you want us to buy them all, you idiot. You're publishing comics. You're a publisher. You want us to buy them all.
I should be having to decide, oh my goodness, I can't afford them all. Which ones do I want the most? Not, I don't think I want one or two of these.
Yeah.
Wasn't speaking of radioactive Spider-Man, wasn't Nightcrawler Spider-Man for a while? I remember that was a thing for a minute.
Perch liked it.
It was one of the better books. It was one of the of that little era. It was one of the better ones.
Mm-hmm. But like, it just came and went again. Like, it's just something that, like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. This whole Doom event. This is an event. Dr. Doom took over the Earth, and nobody cares. Imagine going back and telling yourself in the 80s or the 90s, Dr. Doom they're going to do a whole big crossover. Dr. Doom's going to take over the world, and all the ways that your imagination would have fired off back then about, like, the possibilities of that and the things that they could do and the awesome stories that you might get out of that. And then look at what it is.
No, it is unacceptable. It is 100% acceptable that you have a crossover Doom event that is their flagship event that actually has one of their bigger writers on it, or sorry, one of their bigger writers and artists. Whatever you think about them, that is, you know, how Marvel is treating them. It's got the creative team there. It's their biggest villain. It's leading into the Robert Downey Jr. announcement, which is, or at least it connects there in a lot of people's minds. This book needs to be selling top, and it needs to be promoted that way too. But issues are you know, limping in around 50,000. That's pathetic. I gave Matt Fraction so much shit when his book dipped under 100,000 back when he was doing that Fear Itself event. And the state we're in now is so freaking pathetic. And but Marvel's distracted. Look, they're spinning their wheels until the next thing comes around for their company in a year or two.
So they're waiting for the MCU to get popular again?
No, they're just they don't know what to do. They don't know where the Disney how they're going to get absorbed, how they're going to get merged, what the new state of the world's going to be like. So they're just treading water, and that is just going and going and going. And frankly, if you are Image or DC or an indie creator, now's the time to take advantage of that weakness. Yeah. By the way, as far as I can tell from the solicitations and forward run, to buy every issue in that event, you're in for $380.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There you go. And that's, by the way, assuming that each of these little limited series are going to be 4 issues and not 6.
My assumption was 4.
I know at least some of them are 6.
My goodness. Did you at least like Captain America? What was your thoughts?
No. And again, decent artist and everything in the book. And I do like the idea that we're telling a tale from that time period. I do like the hook that it's, you know, go to see Doom. I like the setup and the premise. I would like to see, as a Captain America #1, more core Captain America. And we got a lot of talking, we got a lot of character work. But I think you got to come out the gate, based on where things are, you got to come out the gate a little bit stronger at this point.
I like the beginning section of it, where he chases the guy down and talks him down. I thought that was very Captain America.
It was.
The book just became very boring.
Yeah, you needed more than that. Was I'll pull it up here. I think that was 3 pages at most.
It's probably like 5 or 6, because you got to get him all the way to the National Mall, right?
All right,
yeah, he's in the diner, and then
But it was that I don't understand why you've got a book like this. It's a #1 issue. You're trying to get people back involved. You make a weird, you know, Taliban racist war joke in the middle, or, you know, there's stuff in there that's just like, why, if you're an editor, you're like, hey, let's this is a #1 issue. We're trying to get people on board. Let's just not. It's weird that we're going there. It has nothing to do with the story. It could be easily cut. Why would we do that? And that, by the way, that's not picking a political side. It takes you out of the book. It's just weird that they do that. You get a little bit of a hook of how's this character in this moment at the end, and some interesting stuff potentially there, but you need these #1 issues to just knock it out of the park and get people's attention, and then bring in some of this character work,
like a Transformers #1 or even an Absolute Batman #1.
Just something. I mean, it's got to come out stronger. We don't, the industry and Marvel and all these guys, they don't have the time to decompress your way for the first several issues. Do that shit in Jeff the Land Shark. You can't be doing that in Captain America #1.
Kalichioki says, I said this before, Marvel doesn't exist anymore. It's just Disney now.
Well, yeah, that's largely correct. That's the era we're living in, is the dying gasps of what the company's like before it gets consumed. And for what it's worth, I think it'll be in better shape when it fully gets consumed. I think the state we're in right now is the worst of all states.
So they're about to be eaten up. They're not going to be their own separate entity anymore?
That's the talk, yes.
Well, very nice. Well, let's get into some comic book recommendations and wrap this up. Perch, we know that you despise this Superman movie. Did you find at least some comic books that you liked?
I've read, so full disclosure, that's why I said I was going to duck out before the end of the show so I wouldn't have to do this bit. I haven't read much. I was on vacation, just came back. I did read that Superman issue that Dylan's been throwing up, which is awesome. And I've read a couple of the other issues this week. Nothing that majorly stands out, but that is the comic. Go read one comic, read that comic.
You didn't read Transformers 22?
I haven't yet.
Oh,
yeah, full disclosure. Yeah, I'm behind about a week and a half.
Yeah, you just got off vacation. I know you view it. That's true. What should people be looking at on the channel? You got any big interviews? You got any big appearances?
I have some interviews I'll get back to. You're just going to hear a bunch of old content for a little while. So sorry, guys.
You can hear about the election coverage.
You can hear about the election coverage. We're going to give you in-depth analysis of January 6th.
Very nice.
It's going to be like, look, whether Trump or Clinton wins, it's immaterial.
I think this Hillary might be a bit spiteful. We'll see how it plays out.
Seems like she's kind of a bitch.
Really appreciate you showed up, Perch, and talking with us today. This is a lot of fun, dude.
Absolutely. Now we'll get to people who actually read comics this week.
Oh,
Tommy, what have you got going on? Did you read any books you want to recommend?
Yeah, man, I read Planet Death. I was very excited about this. It wasn't what I was hoping it would be. It fell a little bit short, but the art by Tomas is next level. And then the short story of Cul-de-sac, which is coming out in August, phenomenal. So you're talking about
Tomas Giorelli, right?
Yeah,
Tomas
Giorelli is insanely good. He's a very good artist. So you're gonna love the way this looks. The story was great. I just thought there'd be a little more to it. But at the end, they give you a little glimpse, like 10 pages of a new title called Cul-de-sac from Bad Idea, and that thing looks like it's gonna be amazing. The art's incredible. The story's awesome. I would say Conan continues to be one of my favorite reads. It was my comic of last year, and it's right up there again for this year. I think Jim Zub is just having the most amazing time in his career. G.I. Joe has been fun. I've been reading that a lot. I'm still enjoying Absolute Batman. It's been a lot of fun. But outside of that, Battle Beast, I'm a little behind, so I'm catching up. Battle Beast was awesome. But yeah, I got a whole stack of stuff that I've got to get through. And with starting a new job and stuff, I just haven't been able to read as much. And then I loved your video that you did on the Compact. I just picked up The Authority, which is a lot of fun, the Warren Ellis run. Couldn't agree more with you on the whole Marvel version of that. But I will say I just got Hickman's Fantastic Four run, and go through that again is pretty awesome. So at least they did pick that one. Brubaker was a really good run, so I'm glad that they did that one. So I did pick them up. I don't know why they didn't just follow DC like you said, but they are at least picking a couple good lines, I think.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Dylan, you got any comic books to recommend outside of Superman Treasury? We want to see it. It's a beautiful cover.
So yeah, we got Superman Treasury. Obviously, looks amazing. It's ginormous. If you get your hands on a physical copy, do it. Best comic of the year, from Dan Jurgens, Bruno Redondo. If you're a fan of Dan Jurgens' era of Superman, you'll like it. There's a lot of callbacks, and also they bring back like a villain that we hadn't seen in a while, which was really cool. Batman and Robin number 23 was great. As always, the series has been really good, and I really enjoyed this issue. We get the reunion of Bruce and Damian, and it's handled so well. Batman Dark Patterns continues to be great. Really enjoying that. Batman Dark Patterns number 8 came out this week, and then Aquaman number 7 was also a lot of fun. We got, I can't remember who the backup artist was, but they came in. They did a really good job. I don't know. You guys know who the artist was on Aquaman this week?
I know Miguel Mendoza was on the Batman and Robin. Aquaman had, it's Michael Shelfer.
Yeah, that's it. Michael Shelfer did a really good job. He I liked his art on this. So yeah, Aquaman number 7. So good DC week, but other than that, not much.
You didn't? Oh yeah, you don't read Transformers because there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I don't care about Transformers.
Probably from Arkansas or something. You can't understand the book.
Awesome. Yeah.
What are these big machines? I don't understand.
All right, Sparrow, you got any big appearances coming up this week? You still waiting for the invites?
I might have a really big appearance. It's just not been confirmed yet. So I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to say, but
like on Mr. Beast.
No, you know what's weird?
Man, we're all going on that. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, people talk about Mr. I mean, that would be huge, but I've never seen a single Mr. Beast video in my life, so I don't know.
We're not 15.
But I know that Feastables is a big disaster. I know that.
I thought they were Lunchleys or something.
No, I think they were called Feastables. I only know that because I just watched a Ryan George video where he was kind of like making fun of Mr. Beast's.
Would you eat one of those just to get on Mr. Beast's channel, just for the the pub?
Yeah, I'd risk it. I'd give it a shot. Yeah, but no, I don't have any recommendations this week. I've not been to the comic store in a couple weeks. I'm hoping to get out there tomorrow and pick up some books. So what I'm going to recommend is the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Viper, the retro card version, which is like the classic Viper from back in the day. Love these guys. I got four here on my desk. I got 4 more to open. So I'm going to highly recommend that action figure. And I'm going to recommend that, we are only a few days. Friday, we're going to close out the Doomface campaign, the late pledges, and we are going to go to our backer kit. So everybody who's pledged already will get their backer kit info to fill out and pick, they can add covers if they want. They can add the exclusive backer kit cover. So I'm going to recommend that if you guys haven't already, please go check out Kneel Before Doomface on Kickstarter. Link is in the description. I think Wes posted as well. Has it in the description. So please go check it out because I'm super excited to finally be getting this book finalized, off to print, and getting ready to launch as soon as we are shipping out. We're going to launch the campaign for number 2.
Very nice. And I recommend you read Transformers 22 because it's absolutely phenomenal. You're going to love it, dude. No? Okay.
No, you're talking to me. I thought you were just saying, like, in general to the crowd. Son. Oh, yeah, no, I will definitely check it out. I'm going to go pick it up. I'll go pick up my G.I. Joes. I'm going to go pick up my Conan and pick up my Aquaman. I hear Green Lantern Corps absolutely sucked this week, so I might not pick that up. I'm excited.
Luigi says, Midwesterners tend to not like Transformers.
It's because they're foreign cars.
Taking our jobs.
Buy American.
That was damn foreign cars.
Well, you don't have to buy American. You can just pick one up that's broken down on the side of the road.
Superman tells us you can. No, never mind. I won't finish that.
It's been a long time since I've been stereotyped because of where I'm from, but now I'm glad I remember what it's like, even though nobody even says anything about being American here anymore. But you guys,
you Missouri sweat hogs, you just sit down.
Tiny fucking pea brains.
I'm gonna come on and start doing a Rick Rude. Yeah, all you Alabama City sweat hogs, sit down, let your ladies take a look at a real man.
Oh goodness. All right, Doc, you gonna recommend any books this week?
I'm going to recommend that you go over to our Patreon to see our Patreon exclusive Worst of the Week with what in the shit was this book even called? Gotham City
Sirens Unfit for Orbit.
Okay. Yeah. and I'm also going to recommend you check out our kind of commentary, but not really review of Uncanny X-Men number 18. This was a terrible comic and
far worse than Gotham City Sirens.
And you really, really need to see all of the things that we pointed out about it. So instead, I will recommend, because I got my Archangel this week.
Oh, cool.
That's dope.
It is a good looking toy. It's weird that they're still doing these Uncanny X-Force Marvel Legend figures. I mean, they just did the X-23 and Warpath, like, what, late last year?
I thought they did fucking Nightcrawler.
Well, they did that, but he was part of a completely separate wave.
Oh, my bad.
Those were like, it was like a 2-pack, and then this was kind of by itself. But yeah, no, I'm slowly picking up all of the X-Force, the Uncanny X-Force Legends figures. So, and I actually paid retail for this. So then we will go with first appearance of Iron Fist. Wow. Because Iron Fist is dope, and fuck zombie Iron Fist, fuck weird Asian Iron Fists. Danny Rand is the only one that matters. And Orson Randall's really fucking cool too, but he's kind of dead. But so yeah, first appearance of Iron Fist, Marvel premiere. It's a little bit pricier of a book. The prices have come down on it a lot, though. I got mine only about a year ago, and prices were way down. So you can get it at an affordable price these days. Then we will go with, since we're talking about Superman, I'm going to show you my favorite Superman. It's always a toss-up between this and Alan Moore doing Supreme, but I love Mr. Majestic. Joe Casey, Ed McGuinness, the first 6 issues that Joe Casey, friend of the channel, Eric Canetti, for the second 6 issues. And then the other 2 miniseries. Actually, you know what? Hold on. We can go with even the Majestic series, where he ends up in the DC universe and he's hanging out with the Eradicator and Superman. So, but yeah, I recommend this Majestic series. It was a 12-issue series. It's wonderful. It's really good. It's very kind of Silver Age Superman-y. Then we will go with Long Shot number 6. And just try to find that whole Long Shot miniseries. Getting 6 issues of Art Adams interiors. Oh, it's amazing. Great fun. I mean, not the greatest story in the world, but it's a good introduction to Long Shot and the Mojoverse and everything to do with that. So if you can find these issues, Perch, how many of the pages of original art do you have from this?
More than half.
All right. And then finally, we will go with one of my favorite single issues of The Incredible Hulk. It was the therapy issue with Hulk versus Banner. Recently departed Peter David, Dale Cohn, or Keon, or however the fuck he's pronouncing his name these days. But yeah, great issue. Very, very kind of dealing with a lot of Hulk's traumas. This is how I wish they would have done like a flashback of like the Hulk kind of becoming Professor Hulk. But instead it's just, hipster doofus Hulk in Endgame. But no, this was great. And then the next issue is that iconic silhouette cover with the green background and the first appearance of Professor Hulk. He kind of cameos at the end of this. But yeah. Great issue. So those are my recommendations this week.
Very nice. Let's look at your face some more, Doc. There we go. Well, very good. I think this is a fun show. I had a really good time, dude. It was good.
It was awesome.
Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week here on the Comics Aficionados. And let's see if I can remember how to turn the stream off.
You gotta hit it twice, I found out.
Oh, goodness.
Push the button twice.
Leave.